Talk Radio on the Hour Headlines.
Just as I look out on Westminster Bridge with the emergency services, the blue colour is being beamed out across London.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
The blue colour. The blue colour.
Struck by lightning sounds pretty frightening, but you know the chances are so small. Stuck by a bee sting, nothing but a bee thing. Better chance you're gonna buy it at the mall. But it's a 23 or 4 to 1 that you can fall in love by the end of this song. So get up, tell the bookkeeper to bet I'm not a damn thing will go wrong. The odds are that we will probably be alright. Odds are we gonna be alright. Odds are we gonna be alright tonight. The odds are that we will probably be alright. Odds are we gonna be alright. Odds are we gonna be alright for another night. Hit by the A train, crashed in an airplane. I wouldn't recommend either one. Killed by a great white or a meteorite. I guess there ain't a way to go that's fun. But somewhere in the world someone is gonna fall in love by the end of this song. So get up, no it's never gonna let them, so you might as well sing along. The odds are that we will probably be alright. Odds are we gonna be alright. Odds are we gonna be alright tonight. The odds are that we will probably be alright. Odds are we gonna be alright. Odds are we gonna be alright for another night. Sure things go wrong, but I'll take my chances. Odds are long, so why not play? Struck by lightning sounds pretty frightening, but you know the chances are so small. Hit by the A train, crashed in an airplane. Better chance you're gonna buy it at the mall. But it's a 23 or 4 to 1 that you can fall in love by the end of this song. So get up, no I'm never gonna let them, so you might as well sing along. The odds are that we will probably be alright. Odds are we gonna be alright. Odds are we gonna be alright tonight. The odds are that we will probably be alright. Odds are we gonna be alright. Odds are we gonna be alright tonight. The odds are that we will probably be alright. Odds are we gonna be alright. Odds are we gonna be alright tonight. The odds are that we will probably be alright.
The blue
odds are we gonna be alright. Odds are we gonna be alright for another night.
Just seemed odd that he said the blue colour. This is in the news. He said the blue colour is being projected. That's a strange turn of phrase, Catherine, isn't it?
Rather than the colour blue.
The blue colour is being projected. Sam, just to let you know, technical thing, I don't have access to TeamViewer. They've only gone and changed the goddamn password, Sam. And my team are trying to crack the password, but I'm being told it may take up to 10 months for them to do it, as it's a 6-digit code, and that's a tough one to break. So if you could find that code and WhatsApp it to me, that would be awesome. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. The late night alternative. My name is Iain Lee. Who the hell are you, lady?
I'm Catherine Boyle.
Okie dokie. I can log in. Here's the password. MONKEY. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I've hacked into Talk Radio. Yes, I've hacked into Talk Radio. I'm gonna totally. I'll bring Talk Radio down. I hacked into it. Oh no, it's not. It's connecting, but it's connecting very slowly. I think it's going to be one of those nights tonight. I've not really spoken to you much today, Catherine Boyle, so I'd love, in 3 words, please, a little update on the Boyle situation.
Flashed at Mum.
Okay, fair enough. That will do. Thank you very much indeed. Hang on a minute. I'm having trouble logging in. This is going to be... Who's that talking in the background?
They're having the virtual pub upstairs.
Oh my
I had to take it
goodness.
upstairs.
Let's
I know,
let's
innit?
take a call. Let's take a call. Good evening, Alan.
Oh, my ears.
Sorry about that. I was just trying out a new jailbreak.
I don't know what that means, Alan. Please tell me in English.
I've adapted my iPhone.
Adapted it. Oh, okay. Gosh. Well, flipping it. Okay. Well, what? Why? Why have you done that? What feature do you want that it doesn't already provide you with?
Cody.
Okay, so you want to watch movies
What's Cody,
illegally?
then?
No, movies, well, it's mainly TV from America I want to watch.
Okay, and what TV specifically from America do you want to watch?
The Price is Right with Drew Carey.
Sweet Lord Jesus, why would you want to... You've hacked a phone and you're breaking international copyright laws to watch The Price is Right with Drew Carey?
I want to see if it was better than our version here in the UK.
Well, why don't you watch it on YouTube?
Well, it is, because we're not on anymore.
No, but watching that documentary quiz inspired me to follow other game shows from around the world. I thought The Price is Right would be a good one to start.
Well, of course, there's a really good quiz. Actually, isn't a documentary; it's a docudrama. But there is a really good documentary about The Price is Right and a guy that tried to beat The Price is Right, and he'd like memorised. What's it called? I think that's just called quiz. That might just be called
Press
quiz.
Your Luck, wasn't it?
Whatever. I don't really care enough to see this through to the end. And it's about a guy that goes on The Price is Right like maybe 30 times, and he tries to beat it, and then I've bored myself, Alan. I can't even finish that sentence. I've bored myself so much.
And it's only 10:10.
Yeah, tell me about it, dude. We've got another 2 hours and 50 minutes of this. I'm going to have to
And
do
another 3 weeks of
something.
lockdown as well.
Oh, the lockdown, baby. Here's the thing, right? Anyone that disagrees with the lockdown, you're an idiot. I was thinking about this, right? And people are very upset and, we got to stop it. It's not fair. It's a dictatorship. Shut your faces. Shut up, Alan. I'm doing a thing. Shut your faces, scumbags. Stay indoors. Stay indoors. Yeah, and you know what? It is actually hard work. All the people say that it isn't hard work, it is. Sam Smith got a rollicking online because he posted a picture of him crying because he's depressed during the lockdown, and people were posting that picture next to that old soldier who's raised like 10 million quid by walking around his garden. Oranges and lemons, dear listener. No, they're quite similar. Apples and bananas. Apples and bananas. The fact that old boy has raised millions of pounds does not detract from the fact that Sam Smith is depressed. It's not privilege. It's not different generations. That's just the way it goes. But all of those people going, oh, yeah, it's fascist dictatorship when we're losing. Shut up. Shut up and stay indoors. Shut up and stay indoors and save a life. It's that simple.
Well, a couple of things I want to add to that. Captain
Oh, be quick.
He raised 15 million at the moment.
Well done. I know, I just mentioned it. Next.
He said 12 million.
Oh,
Goodbye, Alan.
Goodbye,
Goodbye, Alan.
more than that now, Alan.
Goodbye,
Oh,
Alan.
yeah.
0344 499 1000. Let's go to Jonathan. Good evening, Jonathan.
Hello, Ian. Hello, Cass. How's it going?
Hello, Jonathan. I wonder when you'd rear your small little head again. It's been a while.
Well, it turned out it was Thursday this week. I'm not one for conspiracies, but something you mentioned last night really rang with me. The whole speaking to your phone and just mentioning brands and then getting adverts for it.
Yeah.
Me and my friend Chelsea in the office, we started doing this with various brands that we just thought up. So I think we started off with Quaker's Oats, and then Cavonia, and the cough medicine.
Then with what? Sorry.
Cavonia.
Cavonia? What? Cavonia?
Cavonia. That one.
Cavonia?
The one where they go Cavonia. That one.
No, you're thinking of Ricola.
I don't know what Ricola is.
Okay, well, that's what you're thinking of, though. Anyway, carry on.
I'm not one for conspiracies, and I don't think like the government's listening to us or anything. But there is something going on because both of those brands came up in our Instagram feeds, on adverts on Facebook, all over the place. Admittedly, I messed the Quakers Oats one up, which really annoyed my friend because I wrote it down in a message, and obviously messages going to track that. But
then hang on a minute. So you wrote it down. That's different from speaking about stuff. So you're already your thing, and Chelsea in the office must be furious at you because the whole premise is flawed.
It was just for Quakers Oats. Cavonia still came through.
I am trying. I've just checked my spam emails. I'm trying. I'm mentioning mattresses a lot in my house. I've talked about mattresses to myself all day. I haven't had any spam mattress emails yet, but I think it takes a few days for the algorithms to pick it up. So mattresses, beds, sleeping, mattresses.
It took about a week for us. Try mentioning a specific brand of mattress. That might give you more unwanted.
Sleep Easy mattresses. Sleep Easy mattresses. Slumber Down mattresses. Memory foam mattresses.
And we did this in the office, bear in mind. So with our colleagues around us, we were just saying, I love Quakers Oats. I wish I had some Quakers Oats right now. Man, I could.
But you screwed it up by your whole test is tainted.
Only that one.
You've infected the entire laboratory by writing down Quakers Oats. Can you not see that, man?
Look, I felt really bad, and she was legitimately annoyed. I didn't know how to apologise.
I'm annoyed. I'm legitimately annoyed. Catherine is simmering, aren't you, Kath?
Absolutely, you completely ruined the control.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Goodbye, Jonathan. 0344 499 1000 is the phone number. Slow start. It can only get worse. This is Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Yeah, I'm like one of those sad old radio hams. I'm sat here with a flask of decaf cough, got my shoes off, scratching my ball sack, and I'm ready to slowly drive this vehicle through the night and park it up at a service station still open. Is Scratchwood Services still open, for example?
I saw a photo of a service station just about half an hour ago on. And I like that they kind of cordoned off the urinals. Why would they do that?
Yeah, because that is, we think we are triangulating. We think that coronavirus may, don't want to alarm people, may have started in the urinals of a service station toilet. Because let me tell you, dear listener, there ain't nothing dirtier and more terrifying than the urinals at a service station. I was once accosted as I left the urinals at a service station by none other than mad Israeli psychic Uri Geller. That's a true story.
Gosh, Uri Geller.
I like Uri Geller, absolutely bonkers, but a nice guy. Remember we had him on Rise once, which was a Channel 4 television breakfast show that replaced the Big Breakfast, and it was ill-fated. And we had him on quite a lot. And at the start of the show, where you're kind of doing the menu, and we go, and we've got such and such as a guest, and we've got such and such. Oh, we've got Uri Geller. Uri, nice to see you. And I said, Uri, nice to see you. Hey, that's an interesting belt you've got there, Uri. Just, something to throw out. And this was at 6 o'clock in the morning. Maybe it was 7. I can't remember when it started. 7. He whipped his belt off. He went, yes, Iain, let me show you this belt. It is very interesting. Look, if I take this belt off and you see the buckle, if I twist this, it becomes a bong. And wow. We had to move on from that swiftly.
What time was that again? 8 in the morning?
7 o'clock in the morning. But in all fairness, I had been out having a joint just 20 minutes prior to that. So that was life. I don't really have anything. I know generally we come on and do the show and we don't have much, but I might have a few ideas jotted down or some bits and pieces. Tonight, I have got nothing to present to the listener. Absolutely nothing. I've had an all right day. I woke up quite early with a really bad headache, so that was a great start to the day. But I've had a headache for about 5 weeks now, so what are you going to do? And I got up and I pottered around. Did I do something this morning? No, I didn't. But then my boys came, and so I've had the boys here all day. They're up in bed now, and I suspect my eldest might still be awake. The youngest is fast asleep, and it's just a joy and a delight to see them. And I made a cottage pie, but I didn't really have enough beef, so it's quite mash heavy. That's the way it goes sometimes, Catherine. Sometimes you just gotta spread the mash, haven't you?
Yeah, that's what it's for.
But so I was in quite a good mood today when the boys came, and we've had a right old laugh. Those idiots, goddamn idiots, pieces of trash. We've had a right old laugh, and we went out and we did the applause. We're spoilt for choice. Last week we did it in the back garden because there's some of the neighbours came out in the back, and behind us there's like a mobile home. I don't know what you call it. I don't want to say caravan park because people who live in mobile homes get really angry, but they won't be listening to this. So there's a lot of noise that side. But tonight we went out in the front, in the road, and we stood in the road, and the boys had saucepans, and a few of the neighbours that I haven't actually met yet came out, and we all had a social distancing chat, and it was really, really nice, to make lots of noise. But my mood as the day has gone on has sunk. Oh, that's what I did this morning. I finally started reading that Bruce Lee biography that we had the author on about 2 years ago, and I'm finally getting around to reading it. It's a really cracking book, actually. But my mood has got, for some reason, here's what I'm trying to get to. Here's the point. And Wayne and Anthony, we will come to you in a second, I promise. I was really dreading coming to work tonight. Hey, Mux, have they eaten all the food? I'll feed you in a minute. She came in late because I've had to kick some of the cats out because I kept trying to bring in dead animals. Although Muckies was actually alive. That's why you weren't allowed him. I was really dreading going to work tonight. I just thought, I don't think I have it in me to entertain the nation tonight. So I've got nothing. But as you said, Catherine, when I texted you that, probably means it'll be quite a good show.
It does. Sometimes the shows when either we've had a row or we don't feel like we're up to it, they all, well, actually end up being the good ones. No, some
Kath,
being the good ones.
Your line is rubbish again. What are the chances of you doing the show on WhatsApp?
I can do it on WhatsApp. Do you want to try one more out and in, or should I just go straight to WhatsApp?
Sorry? I don't think that's a technical term, out and in.
I can turn this off and turn it on again, is what I'm saying.
I wonder why it's being so weird for the last couple of days. Something must have happened. Oh, I know what. It's sabotage. Yeah, let's try one more. And so off you pop. Wait for Sam to dip the fader. Goodbye, Catherine. We'll try you one more time. Otherwise, we will go and do a WhatsApp, which sounds better, but it does actually fry her brain. 0344 499 1000. If you're new to the show, welcome. We don't tend to bang on about the dreaded lurgy, although if you want to talk about the dreaded lurgy, you're very, very welcome than anything else. We just tend to for 3 hours and try and distract you from the fact that we're all going to die. Let's go to Wayne. Good evening, Wayne.
Good evening. How the devil are you?
None of your business, Wayne.
I know. I keep asking.
What have you got for us?
Midlife crisis purchases.
Oh, this is you speak up my language, my friend. You speak up my language.
Oh, I hope so. A tuk-tuk.
What? You bought a tuk-tuk? Hang on, whoa. Where the hell did you buy a tuk-tuk from?
I've got a friend in Yorkshire who imports them from India. It doesn't arrive till next week. I'm so excited. And I have got to...
How much? Well, that's going to be literally dripping with coronavirus, isn't it?
Well, no, it's been packed in Yorkshire. He ships them over. I think it's been in his showroom for best part of 2 years.
Right, okay. And how much does a tuk-tuk cost these days?
A tuk-tuk in the region of about £6,500.
Oh, forget that. I thought you were going to say about £2,000, and I was thinking, oh, I could afford a tuk-tuk. £6,500 for a tuk-tuk. Are you nuts?
Well, no, I could get one for about £2,000. I wanted a brand new one. I've got to register it and number plate it myself.
Kath, I want a tuk-tuk for my birthday.
Yeah,
I want a tuk-tuk.
A yellow and black one. It's got convertible roof.
Hang on, Wayne. Kath, we'll speak to you on WhatsApp. It ain't working.
Man.
It's got what? A spare bedroom? Did you say?
No, convertible roof.
Yes.
It's long wheelbase, so it seats 3 kids on the back, and it's got a small boot. Up front, it's got quite a bit of room. One seat right up front. A Lambretta engine. That takes me back when I was younger.
I want a tuk-tuk more than I want my children living with me. That's awesome.
And I know I can get round my town. Well, when things settle down, in and out.
Yeah, when things settle down.
I didn't even know it had reverse gear on it till today.
Wowzers. I'm genuinely, very rarely am I jealous of my listeners. I have nothing but contempt for the majority of them. But that is cool.
Oh, thank you. I'm so excited.
Go on, what else you been buying in your midlife crisis?
A drone.
No, boring.
That's for the grandson, because I've just completed his go-kart, so he's doing a bit of a charity thing in it, and he wants to... His dad's going to film him... Mum's filming, dad's pushing, grandson steering on the go-kart.
Okay. I looked at... my boys want to enter in the Cop Hill Climb, which is this lovely little thing that they have every year. I don't know if it's going on this year. They have a soapbox challenge, and I said to them, you know what, guys, next year we're going to enter that soapbox challenge. And today, I've been meaning to it for ages. Today I thought, right, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to look at how to make a soapbox cart, right? And I looked at it, and after 10 minutes I went, nah, never going to do that. Way out of my skill set. Not even something that I'm looking at and going, well, it would be tough, but I'm just sat there going, no, can't. It's virtually like building a car, but without an engine.
I did slightly cheat, Ian.
Oh, go on. What did you do?
Purchased a brown bin several years ago, but the council put the price up to it be emptied up to £40. So I thought, okay, yes. Not having that. So I converted the wheelie bin into the go-kart. He'll be sat in it. His bum will basically be sat on the back wheels. Then we put a simple pivot on the front off an old tram. So he's in a cage, but he took all my pillars off my bed, and he's not having them. Anyway, so he's on the front where the lid lifts up.
Dear God, this sounds awful. Did you not tell us about converting a wheelie bin into a soapbox the other day?
I did, yeah.
Well, don't tell us again.
Oh, right, no, you just say, okay then, and the last midlife crisis purchase is the police scanner.
Oh, I used to... Listen to this, Boyley. This is how cool I am, and possibly how illegal I was. Years ago, I bought a police scanner, Wayne, and this was when mobile phones broadcast on a different system. So you could listen in to people's mobile phone conversations. It was the most illegal yet coolest. This was about 15. This was when I was doing the 11 o'clock show. It's about 20 years ago. This was the coolest thing I've ever done in my life. And I once flirted with Sian Lloyd, the weather girl. So it tells you how cool this was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. We used to have a couple, when I used to listen to them, every Thursday night they would have a conversation. It'd be called the Big O. And basically, I don't want to go really into detail, but they'll tell each other what they're doing to each other in a sexual manner.
Gosh, when you reduce it to that sentence, doesn't phone sex sound awful? But yet we all know it's wonderful once you get over the giggles.
Well, yeah. And it was, all
right, Wayne, thank you for that, mate. 0344 499 1000. Boyley, are you with us?
Yeah, apparently. Does this sound all right?
It sounds a little bit quiet to me, but as long as Sam is sure that we are pumping out at the same volume, then I'm happy with this.
Well, let's do it then.
Let's do it. Let's go to Anthony. Good evening, Anthony.
Good evening. Good evening. How are you?
None of your business.
Today?
Here's the new rule, and I'm not aiming this at you, Anthony, but I mentioned this yesterday. If anybody says, "How are you?" cut off immediately, Sam. You just cut them off immediately, and that's that. That's that. For some reason, Anthony, I don't know why, but for some reason that question's really getting on my... No, you weren't to know. But for some reason that question's really getting on my tits right now.
I wonder why.
Anyway, Anthony, what you got?
Ian, right, so a bit of sad news before I got the good news. Unfortunately, my best friend's nan died from the coronavirus, unfortunately.
Oh, mate,
So,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. Lots of love to your best friend and to you and the family. It's sad.
Yeah, thank you.
Really
appreciate it. So, with this coronavirus gone, we can't go in there, can we? So,
nope.
Have a guess what we're going to buy. Have a guess.
A hot air balloon to beat the system because they've not banned those.
It would be good, wouldn't it? But no.
It would be good.
We're going to buy.
Go on, I don't know. Kath, hang on.
Yeah.
Kath, you have a go. Have a guess what Anthony's buying.
With some money.
With some money, yeah.
Cake?
It's something Ian's got in his house.
Cats. Is it cats?
Yeah, we're going to buy a cat.
Yes, mate. Well done. It is the best.
Any advice on getting a cat?
Yeah, get a nice one. Get a nice cat, not a horrible cat. That's my advice. Yeah. Cats are the best, man. Honestly, my cats, my 5 and then Velvet Past, my 4 now, and I know that Catherine will say the same about her Willow. That's the name of her cat, cheeky sod. They bring me, the 4 of them bring me so much joy. And I was watching today because Lucky tried to bring in a dead shrew, and I had to shrew her away. Thank you. And Mucky tried to bring in a dead mouse, so I just stood at the back. I stood outside the kitchen door going, no, you're not coming. No, you are not coming in with that. It wasn't dead, actually. It was alive. When she put it down, it started running away. But no, they're the best. They're the best, Anthony. They're better. I've got to say it quietly because I think my boys are awake. They're better than my children.
Dear, Ian, come on.
Relationship I've been in. No, it's true. It's true. Much better than my cats are better than my children. Okay.
Well, I want to hear that.
What are you getting, Anthony? You getting a kitten? You getting what are you getting? How's it working?
We're going to go from a kitten, I think. So it's a young one. We're going to buy a kitten. Just one though, not like 4.
One is sensible.
We might get another one maybe, but see how it goes, Yeah. But I thought it's a nice thing to look after and something to do, look after.
You could get a brother and sister kittens. Brothers and sister kittens.
Oh, that's a good idea, isn't it? That's a good idea.
It's a good idea, brother and sister, because then they get on. Seeing 2 cats together is so much better than seeing 1 cat on its own.
Yeah,
I think anybody who only has 1 cat is cruel. It's an idea, and
4.
I've got 4 now, yeah, and it's 2 pairs of siblings, so 2 sisters and then a brother and a sister, and it's the best, man. They'll bring you so much joy.
What's the always goes on your desk, Ian, when you're live on YouTube? It always comes on your desk and sits on your knee around the desk.
Oh, they all do. At the moment, it's Patty does it a lot. I don't know where they are. I think they're asleep in the kitchen. Patty, they all do at various points.
One more thing before I go. I can get you live on the laptop, but I can't get you live on YouTube. Do you know why? On the PS4.
Yeah, I'm not.
Get on the PS.
Yeah, I'm not on YouTube tonight, Anthony. That's why I don't fancy doing the videos. But thank you, mate. 0344 499 1000. I've kind of stopped doing the YouTube for a bit. It just feels like a hass, doesn't it? This is the late night alternative, weeknights from 10 with Ian and Kath on Talk Radio.
Late night, Ian Lee on Talk Radio.
0344 499 1000. I was comparatively productive today. I wrote a 500-word piece for Retro Gamer magazine that I have to do. It's a joy. What else? have I took the washing out of the tumble dryer and put it in the drawers. I mean, that felt like a gargantuan effort. I did make cottage pies. I was watching David Babcock on Twitch. By the way, dear listener, I know some of you hate the David Babcock, and you're right to. He's a knob. But his Twitch streams are just the most entertaining. He's getting the kind of same figures that I'm getting now, Kath. And it is just the most entertaining thing I have seen. If I know that he's online, I get a little flash on my phone. I'm there. Quite often I just sit in the background. Quite often I have a little doze while he's on and listen to him while he's dozing. Twitch.tv/The David Babcock. Twitch.tv/The David Babcock. It's free. It's very, very funny. It's often very honest, very real. And it's unlike anything else that's out there. I can't recommend it highly enough. I love it. You go on there, Catherine, and troll him, which I think is unfair, but very funny.
Not always, but, you know, he has got a little bit of a bee in his bonnet about me, and I like to exploit that.
He doesn't wear his bonnet anymore. You can see his big bald head, and he's shaved his beard off. He looks like a potato. It's the weirdest thing. But it's a real joy. He does it, I think, about sort of 3 or 4 o'clock every afternoon, and it's keeping me. Don't tell him this, obviously, but it's keeping me sane during the coronavirus crisis, the CVC, as I'm calling it these days, the CVC, coronavirus crisis. So that's my recommendation for the day today.
So what you're saying is that David Babcock is your crutch?
Yeah, unfortunately, I guess I am saying that. Gosh. That's a shame, isn't it? That's a shame. Yeah. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Kath, have you got anything tonight? Because I ain't got nothing.
Yeah, I've got loads of things. Apparently it's now turned National Horny Day in America. A lot of people saying that they are feeling the sexual pinch. So there's that. Yep. But I wonder whether this is something.
Now, what the sexual pinch is? The sexual pinch. That's the sexual pinch. That's edging, right?
It can be, but I think what they mean is that they finally reached the moment where being alone is a struggle, if you know what I mean. Yeah. But I'm reading this in the New York Post. I do love the New York Post because it's like a newspaper, but it's from New York, and it says. Thirsty tweets skyrocket amid coronavirus quarantine, and it's been a proper scientific study. Do you want to hear about it?
Yes, I do, mate.
Okay. Well, you know, when I read from the New York Post, I have to do it in a New York accent, so you're going to have to bear with me.
Oh, don't, because you're doing a story about being horny. I've got to be quiet because my kids are awake. You're doing a story about being horny, and I get so many messages and tweets and emails when you do your New York accent. Oh, can Kath do the whole show in a New York voice? I think it's really sexy. Oh, when Kath does that New York voice, I'm there touching myself. It's horrible.
Right, well, I wasn't going for sexy. I think it sounds kind of aggressive and slightly... I don't know, like not sexy, but okay, whatever. You know what?
Well,
it's National Horny Day, Ian. Everyone's going to be horny no matter what I do, and it's just, it's just something we have to deal with.
Okay, all right. Away you go.
All right, here we go then. This is a story about thirsty tweets. You know what a thirsty tweet is?
I'm guessing it means that you're sniffing around for flange.
No, it's when you put something out there when you know that it's going to create moisture. Here we go. Idle hands make for thirsty tweets. New data suggests that sexting has skyrocketed amid widespread stay-at-home orders put in place during the coronavirus pandemic. See, who can be turned on by this? I sound like an angry policeman.
Yep.
Tweets with terms like nudes and dick pics.
You know that works for me.
Tweets with terms like nudes and dick pics appearing alongside coronavirus jumped 384% from the beginning of March to April, according to data from Chorus, a private social media management firm. Most states didn't institute lockdowns until about mid-March, but the size of the increase in the tweets still hints at a rise in sexting, according to Forbes. Use of the peach and eggplant. Eggplant is American for...
Aubergine.
Aubergine.
And aubergine is emoji for penis.
Yeah, gosh. I mean, if it looks like that, go and see a doctor. Use of the peach and eggplant emoji stand-ins for female and male genitalia, respectively. Thanks for explaining that, New York Post. Also increased with the fruit seeing a 46% spike. Imagine a 46% spike, everyone. Self-isolation and quarantine can lead to more sexually aggressive behavior on social media as a way to relieve stress, Dr. Helen Fisher, research fellow at the Kinsey Institute and Match.com scientific advisor, told Forbes. The truth is that quarantine adds stress, Fisher said. Stress tends to trigger the fight or flight response. This elevates testosterone in both men and women, and elevated testosterone then triggers the production of norepinephrine and eninephine, natural stimulants that produce energy, focus, motivation, and sexual arousal. Expressing sexual desires online can lead to a sense of safety and freedom, especially when holed up at home, Fisher said. In some ways, it's safer to express one's sexuality on the internet. We can't meet in person. This gives people a sense of freedom. They can't go any further than simply expressing their feelings. They don't have to follow through by actually meeting and having sex, she said. Follow through. Men and women now have time to express their sexuality, and so many of the other daily habits, patterns, and pressures are now on hold. Once lockdown is lifted, Fisher predicted that sexting will cool down. The expression of sexual desires on the internet will no longer be innocuous once we can again meet in person, she said. We will get back to the time constraints and working and time with family and friends. Wow, okay. So, yeah, thirsty tweets.
Let's take a quick break. 0344 499 1000. This is Thirsty Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Sometimes this big kind of stuff is tough, right? It's tough, isn't it, Kath? It's really tough. And there's a tweet that's had 3,500 retweets, 11,500 comments, and 14,500 likes.
Yeah.
From Ben Fogle.
Yeah.
And it's 15 hours ago, and here it is. It's the Queen's birthday next Tuesday. Let's throw her a surprise. At 9 a.m, 21st of April, we are calling on the whole country to sing happy birthday from our windows and doorsteps. Let our song bring good cheer, not just to Her Majesty, but to the whole nation. Hashtag sing for the Queen. I thought it was a joke when I saw it, but he actually means it, right?
Yeah.
That's a really, really dumb... And we'll go to his follow-up tweet in a minute. But that, as it's written, is a really, really dumb, stupid, pointless idea, right? Isn't it?
Well, I know why it's stupid and pointless, but tell me why you think it is.
Well, because, first of all, I mean, there's so many reasons, right? I quite like the Queen, as you know. I quite like the Queen. But she's a multi-millionaire who could pay for, I don't know, all of the PPE that is required in the hospital. You know, could, as someone said on Twitter, she could afford to give everyone in the country a tenner each and still be a millionaire. So there's that. The applause that we're doing on the Thursday nights is for people who are not just who are risking their lives and are also actually giving their lives to keep others alive. People are dying, you know, and those are the ones that we are applauding. And it just doesn't make any sense on any level.
No, the problem I had with it was, well, not only was it a kind of, it just made, do you know what it felt like? The sort of bright idea someone would have in class and everyone else would groan. You know, it would mean that we all had to stay.
Oh, it's the sort of idea that you'd come up with.
Mate, shut up. But also the fact that he used his kid in the video for it and made her say it. And they're sitting next to a great big sort of what looks like a royal crest. It's just super. I'm going to say.
Well, hang on a second. Hang on a second. That's the follow-up video, because you are a bumlick. You were a bumlick, and this is the kind of nonsense you'd have come up with, and everyone would have gone. But then he had all of this abuse, right? Hardly anyone went, yeah, all right, Ben, that's a great idea. Everyone called him out for being a numpty.
I saw someone saying
so
that around that time he had to go and stick his willy in a wasp's nest.
I have no idea what you're talking about. But so then he followed it up, right, with this tweet. Yeah, some of the responses seem pretty mean-spirited to a well-intentioned idea from a 9-year-old. Hang on a minute. You didn't mention in the first tweet it was an idea from a 9-year-old. You implied it was your idea and that you were basically telling us it was on. Yeah, I've always taught my children to be kind and thoughtful. We watched the speech with 24 million other people, and Iona thought it would be a nice way to say thank you. Kindness matters. Whoa. Hang on a minute, Ben Fogle. Why the hell are you offering your 9-year-old daughter as the sacrificial lamb in this major cock-up?
Yeah. Also, my daughter has wild ideas about what we could do on our show, for example. And it's my job as a parent and someone who loves her to be the first one to trample on them. Because if I don't do it lovingly, someone else will do it meanly. Yeah. Sometimes you've got to be that guy.
His first tweet was obnoxious and posh. And then the second tweet, to get the daughter to say, it was my idea, is just terrible. Limmy tweeted, it's a very niche reference. There is a movie called The Dead Zone, right? And in it, Christopher Walken, if he shakes someone's hand, he can see the future that they're going to have. And it's a great film, David Cronenberg, about 1983 or 4, I think it is. And Martin Sheen's the dad, right? Of the Sheen brothers. Right, okay. So Christopher Walken, Martin Sheen is the president, or he's running to be president, and Martin Sheen, Christopher Walken shakes Martin Sheen's hand, and he sees that if Martin Sheen becomes president, he's going to start a nuclear war. So Christopher Walken becomes obsessed with assassinating Martin Sheen. And there's a bit, right, towards the end, where Martin Sheen's at this big rally, and Christopher Walken runs up to him with a gun to shoot him.
Yeah.
And Martin Sheen picks up a 9-year-old girl and holds her in front of him, right, to avoid the bullet. And he doesn't get shot, but it's then like on the cover of Time and Newsweek magazine, Martin Sheen's career is over because he's seen cowering behind this 9-year-old girl. And Limmy just retweeted that, or tweeted that, without any comment. But it was obviously aimed at Ben Fogle doing exactly the same thing. I quite like Ben Fogle. He's not really my cup of tea, but then he's not aimed at me. But I'm sure if I met him, that's his skill, isn't it? He's a really charming, nice bloke, and that's why, people like him. He's kind of wallpaper, and I'm sure his daughter's beautiful. But that was a lousy thing to do, Ben. That was a lousy, cowardly thing to do, mate.
Yeah, but the replies did make me laugh. I kind of subtweeted him, but I didn't add to it. But it's just like, no, mate, no. I mean, no. Some of these people need to run their tweets past like an adult before they put them out. And, I'm not perfect, but, mate, just one pair of eyes would have seen this was a terrible idea.
0344.
And also that video where he's got the kid on his knee, it looks like he's a ventriloquist. He's mouthing some of it. He's obviously written it out. I don't believe she's written it out. It just I reckon she probably did because they're posh and they know big words. But yes, his wife is probably off camera with a rifle pointed at her. Yes, and they are feeding us very, very well here, and we get to play video games. We really like it here in Iran. But you know what? The posh thing isn't necessarily. It doesn't have to be a factor. One of my favourite people on Twitter, and he's not necessarily one of my favourite artists in music, is James Blunt, because he just seems to be able to kind of ride that line between taking the piss out of himself and telling people to, bugger off in a witty way on Twitter. So it's not necessarily a posh thing, but I just think, stop being so... The problem with the first tweet was it was so ardent and kind of tone deaf. He kind of misjudged the mood in the room. And then he ploughed on with it. He kind of doubled down with it. And yet, using the kid, oh, mate, don't do that. Please don't do that. And if you do, then you have to take responsibility for that. It's not down to Twitter to police itself. Sorry, that's just the way it goes.
Let's go to the show's resident poshie. It's Dredge. Hello, Lord Dredge.
Hello. It's absolutely wonderful to be here. It really is.
This is him speaking in his real voice. Now do that comedy character that you do when you phone up.
Hello, how are you doing?
And he just slips between the two. You would never know it's the same guy. He just slips between the two. Evening, Dredge. How you doing, mate? You right?
Yeah. I mean, talking of the royal family, I was just watching this documentary on them because there's literally nothing on the television, and it's amazing the sort of things these commentators come out with as well. You know, they just sit there, the talking heads, and not David Byrne. And there's one woman from like Her Majesty magazine or something no one's ever heard of. And she said, she was talking about the royal family touring Malta or something, and she said, yes, they did so much work that the Queen was smiling so much that her face started to ache. Oh. And Prince Philip was doing so much waving, he ended up waving in his sleep.
Mm. Saying that, when I got married, my face did ache by the end of the day. You do too much smiling. I can sympathise with Her Majesty on that level, yes.
Dredge, you know how... Come on, listen, you're miserable like me. You know how hard it is to smile when you don't want to.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's true enough. But the other
Have you got coronavirus yet, Dredge?
I don't know. How do you know? I'm all right. I'm all right at the moment. I'm isolated in me cell.
Did anybody... Listen, right, and I'm not going to do this because this is a non-essential journey, but let me have a little mind fart with you. So in Wales, I think at the Cardiff Stadium, they've got a drive-through coronavirus test, right? And I only know this because it was closed on Bank Holiday Monday and there was a furore. And part of me thought, it's only about 2.5 hours there. I could drive there, get tested, find out one way or t'other, and drive back. I would be well up for, Kath, I don't know your thoughts on this, I'd be well up for going have a drive-through test.
I would too, but I think it's for NHS people, isn't it?
They didn't say that. They didn't say that. You've got to specify it.
I mean, you were talking about what's going to happen to gigs and things like that in the future. So I'm thinking, I mean, people aren't really going to want to sit in an audience for a hell of a long time. And I was thinking, what are they going to do? Are they going to sort of say, you can only come into this venue if you've been tested and you haven't got it? I mean, what? And how are they going to find out?
Yeah. Probably. I bet there will be a thing before when we get a vaccine. I can see some muppets in the Twitter feed here saying, I'm not going to get a vaccine that's been made by Bill Gates. He's a paedophile. All right, okay, guys. Let me just say, if Bill Gates makes a vaccine, I'll have double. But I reckon there will be a thing where you can only attend public gatherings if you have a certificate to say that you are clean.
Yeah, I can see that. And how many rock groups are clean, you know?
Oh, here's an idea. Apparently those green care badges that were announced yesterday are more expensive than... They're like £8, like nearly £9. And your average NHS worker only earns £8, something like £8.60 an hour, right?
Yes.
So why don't we, as punters... I wouldn't mind paying for a badge saying that I was clean. You know, if it was I think the NHS people should get tested for free, obviously. But as a non-essential person who would quite like to be tested and would happily pay a tenner for it, could I have a badge?
Two things. I'd have no idea what these badges are that you're talking about. Second thing, when you're talking... Dredge, when Kath was talking, could you hear me saying that she can't hear me when she's talking? Could you hear that?
Not too well. I could just about make it out.
Right. Okay. We're going to do an experiment, right? Because Kath, no, it's fine. We can work around this. You know, worse things happen at sea. So, Kath, I want you to do a long, boring sentence, just the normal stuff that you would say. And John, I'm gonna say something, and I want you to tell me what I said. Okay?
Okay.
Me, I can't hear you when you're.
This could be one of your new features.
That's why I said John. That's his real name is John. His first name is John, I think. Or middle name, I don't know. And you spoke, Catherine, when I spaketh. So, Kath, away you go.
A long, boring sentence. Okay. It's the Queen's birthday next Tuesday. Let's throw her a surprise. At 9 a.m, 21st of April, we're calling on the whole country to sing Happy Birthday
can we stop her
from
now?
our windows and doorsteps.
Can we stop her now?
Let our song
Can we stop her
bring
now?
good cheer, not just to Her Majesty, but to the whole nation. Hashtag sing for the Queen.
John, you tell her to stop. She might hear you. All right, hang on. Right, Dredge, what sentence did I say?
You said something about me putting something on my head.
It was blancmange. Okay, so that's interesting. You don't really hear... I said John eats blancmange and puts it on his head. Right, now we're going to try something.
This is a really good new feature for your show, though, isn't it? Can you hear what Iain said?
This is a wonderful glitch we've got in the Matrix. Right, now, Catherine, you're going to talk again. And, John, I want you to talk while she's talking to see if I can hear you. Away you go, team.
I'm just trying to find something really boring. Oh, yeah. Right now, kids, highlight of your day. Yup, that's my car. We've tried to book an online Tesco delivery. Snoring, clappers going clapping crazy. DAB app and talkradio.co.uk.
It was a shame how he carried on.
Right, I know you were quoting the lyrics to Rah Rah Rasputin by Boney M, but I couldn't hear what I just heard Rah Rah Rasputin, and then I couldn't make out the rest. Isn't this fun? Isn't this a fun glitch we found? It's like we're playing Roblox and we've worked out how to get the keys without having to do any of the work. What fun. Oh, Dredge, excuse me, I do apologise. What did you call him for?
Well, I was just going to say that what I was going to say was I found this interesting podcast, and what it's about is this guy basically takes a Samantha Fox single and analyzes it, and but the thing about it is it's really poignant and moving, and he obviously sort of connects with her music on this deep level, and it's just an interesting podcast. It's about 15 minutes and it's scripted, and I thought it was really good. She's on it, and I just thought it was worth recommending. It's called Zoom for Sam, and it's run by this Japanese guy called Zoom. I just thought it was worth mentioning. So that was what I was called in about.
Zoom. Okay, I wasn't actually listening to that, Dredge, but thank you so much for your call.
No one was talking over me either.
There we go. So I think you should learn from that. Yes, go. Goodbye. 0344 499 1000. Let's go to... Oh, John! This is a different John now. John!
Evening.
Is your name John?
It's too many Johns. We're common as muck, I'm afraid.
Too many Johns. John, listen, first of all, two things. One, it's not a great line, so Sam's going to call you back and see if we can get a better line. Secondly, can we speak to you after the news?
Of course, yeah, I'm here.
Thank you. Sam, if you could sort John out, and I think you know what I mean by that, murder him. No, don't. Just see if you can get him back on a better line. We'll carry on taking your calls, dear listener. We seem to be slowly picking up speed. A whole hour there of absolutely nothing at all. 0344. Oh, this is for Penguin Land, who really enjoyed the music in the background. 0344 499. I love it. People that I've blocked come running to mum. Let me finish the phone number. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call about absolutely anything. This is the Late Night Alternative, weeknights from 10. Iain and Kath on Talk Radio.
Late Night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Alcohol, alternative
discover.
I discovered alcohol. And would you please ignore that you found me on the floor, trying to run your camera roll? Oh, alcohol. Would you please forgive me for while I cannot love myself? I'll use something else.
I mean, hang on, bit more to go. Come on, lads. They're just such a damned good band. The Bare Naked Ladies, Catherine. They're just so flipping good. Oh, I tell you what's coming Saturday, and I know it's coming Saturday because I had to pay the customs charge on it today. The DVD that I bought from the United States of America of the Stephen Page Trio live in concert. That is, and the boys go Saturday morning. That is my afternoon, is watching that. I'm very, very, excuse me, windy and excited.
I don't blame you. That sounds like an exciting day.
Yeah. I love those guys so much, so much. Let's go to John. Good evening, John.
Hey, good evening, guys. How you doing?
Hey, John.
John, what have you got for us?
Well, listen. Before I go on to what I phoned about, your advert session just then, I thought it was April Fool's Day. So the alcohol companies are going to deliver free of cost alcohol to homes now, apparently. While calls to Alcoholics Anonymous have gone up 10,000
All right,
fold.
John, hello. Let's not talk about the adverts, because we're not really allowed to talk about the adverts.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, I think there are better things we could be doing with alcohol right now.
John, do you know what? I just asked you not to talk about the adverts, and you then went and carried on speaking about the adverts. Here's the thing, right? Mm-hmm. If people, and I'm a junkie. I'm an alcoholic junkie, right?
Oh, yeah.
But most people can drink quite responsibly. So if people want to drink during lockdown, who are you to begrudge them getting drunk during lockdown if that's what they want to do? Yeah, there's going to be an explosion with people falling off the wagon and addiction and alcoholism when we get back. Of course there will. But if people want to drink during the lockdown, let them drink during the lockdown.
Okay, well, yeah, fair enough. I mean, yeah, no reason they shouldn't deliver drugs as well. I'm on to prison.
John, do you know what, John? Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
There's a hot take no one needed.
Oh, jeez. I mean, come on. Yeah, do you know what? There will be a huge... the number of people in drug and alcohol recovery that relapse during this is going to be huge.
Yeah.
The number of people who are social drinkers who become problem drinkers during this is going to be quite big, I think. But also, I mean, I wouldn't begrudge anybody having a drink during this because it's miserable.
And the thing is... Yes, and drinking is so embedded in our culture. And if it stops people from going out to the shops when they don't need to, if they can, get it in some other way. My local wine shop delivers for free because they're trying to stay afloat. And if it keeps people from making unnecessary journeys, what's wrong with that? People
and also,
they're going to have to work things out.
Obviously, get this right. We're a commercial radio station and we play adverts. Some of the adverts I like, some I don't like, some I think are funny, some I think are awful. But they pay my wages, so I am grateful. Excuse me. I am grateful for every single advert we have on this radio station, and obviously, we're not allowed. I am not allowed an opinion about those adverts. Because I'm not allowed to. I'm allowed a private opinion, but I'm not allowed to broadcast an opinion. So when I very politely ask you to not talk, and it's very polite to not talk about the adverts and not talk about them because we're not allowed to and move on, don't then. Please follow that instruction. It's not a suggestion, it's an instruction. Don't then sneak in another little backhanded comment about the thing I've told you that we're not allowed to talk about, you absolute muppet. 0344 499 1000. Speaking of which, here's George.
Hello, Ian, Catherine.
Hey, George.
Hello, George. You're sounding surprisingly full of life.
Am I?
Yep.
Oh, I just passed 79.5, and I'm hoping to reach 80. And I'm quite cheerful about everything at the moment. I find what's happening fascinating, and on one level, it's really bringing people together, even though we're being asked to stay apart. And I'm trying to make contact with Dominic Raab, but I haven't succeeded in doing so far. He's the grandson of a close friend of my father's, and it's a really nice link. I'd really like to speak to Dominic Raab in the present circumstances, and I just see it as all very mystical, and it's a dramatic time. It really is. The world is
global pandemic.
I just sense that great things are going to happen, and I just think the establishment will collapse, and the people of the world will come together.
And do what?
Into the mystic, and
they'll come together and do what?
To create a world of wonders, a world that has no countries in, a world that
my mistake. I shouldn't have asked. I apologise.
Leisure-oriented, peaceful, and harmonious world.
I put a coin in the slot, Catherine.
Sorry?
It would be nice. It would be nice if there was a peaceful, harmonious world. I like the fact there are countries, but it would be nice if there were a peaceful, harmonious world. I don't think there will be, but it would be nice if there were.
John Lennon said, "Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do it. It isn't hard to do it."
He got shot on his doorstep, though.
Yes, but what does that mean?
It means the world's a really dark, nasty place.
At the moment, I see the world as being, if there is such a place as hell, we're in it essentially. But I just sense.
I can understand why you'd think that.
Sorry?
I can understand why why some people might feel that. I don't think we're living through hell, but I can understand why some people might have that attitude. Yes.
Many people are living hellish existences on a planet that should provide for us all to live.
There's ever such a slight difference in what you. There's ever such a slight difference in what you said. The second time you said hellish. People are living hellish existences. The first time you said, I can imagine that we're in hell. I interpret those two things as being wildly different.
Well, I'm saying, if there is such a place as hell, this is it, as far as
in your opinion, and I can understand why some people might think that at the moment.
But I just sense us all to be spirit beings who've been made to lose our memories, and we're all playing our parts in this cosmically directed script. It's Shakespeare had it right. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely.
God damn it! We need a new. The guy that's writing this season's a jerk off. We need a new writer and a new director, because this script sucks, man. And we need a new writer.
Yeah, well, there's a different writer for every age, but there's 7 ages which are laid out.
Ollie, mate, can I read you? Ollie makes a good point. Ollie makes a good point on Twitter. Thank you, Ollie. Ollie every now and then chips in with something very insightful and very wise. He says, John Lennon also said, "I am the walrus, cuckoo-kajoob," so I wouldn't take his word for anything.
No, but he just asked us to imagine things. I don't like everything he asked us to imagine. I don't want to imagine that there's no heaven. I am sure there is a heaven.
It's easy if you try. It's easy if you try.
Yeah, but I mean, John Lennon was 4 days older than me, and
truth. You talk about cosmic justice. There isn't any. Huh? That was a mean joke, but I'm glad you got it.
Yeah, but it's all scripted. I'm quite sure of that. We're all.
Are you not worried about? Are you worried about getting this, George? Because a lot of people, if I may be honest with you, I was streaming the other day on Twitch, and a lot of people said, "Oh, we've not heard from George for a while. I wonder if he's all right." And of course, in April 2020, when someone asks about an older person, I wonder if they're all right. The underlying question is, has he got the coronavirus? Now, obviously, you haven't at the moment. It would seem that you haven't. Are you worried about it?
Not at all. I really look forward to dying. I'm sure.
I mean, you're giving me so many feed lines, and I've got so many punchlines, but I won't do them.
No,
I have to do it. So it's a joke. It's a joke.
There's a lovely statement in the Bible book of Ecclesiastes. It says, "A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of one's death."
Kim Kardashian.
And the day of one's death to the day of one's birth. And I find great comfort in that statement, because it just convinces me that when we die, we return to our celestial homes that we've forgotten. We've been made to forget all about Iain. And these are very interesting times.
All right. Okay. Well, they are fascinating. But as a great Chinese philosopher once said, who wants to live in interesting times? Not me. George, I'm going to move on. Thanks so much for your call, mate. Bye-bye. 0344 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Sorry, Boyley, I really feel like, and I know you won't feel like this, but we're doing. For those who don't know, Catherine and I are we're getting a divorce from each other. It's just not. No, I'm joking. We're doing the show so Sam is in the studio in London. I'm in my house, and Catherine is in her house, and we're both. We've got our kids upstairs asleep. So we're doing it through laptops and what have you. And while the technology is amazing, it's not 100% perfect yet. I reckon in another 12, 18 months, voila, it's the studio monopoly will be dead, and everyone will be doing radio shows from home. But I'm also aware that the last few weeks since we've been doing it from separate homes, Kath, I've kind of been dominating the show and driving the show. Normally it's like 60-40 me, 50-50. But I really feel like recently it's kind of been 70-30, maybe even 80-20 me, just because of the time delay that we've got, all of these things that make it ever so slightly difficult to have a spontaneous, nuanced, flowing conversation. It feels like, and I'm sure we've not talked about this, I'm sure you'd agree, it kind of needs someone to push it. So I'm apologising publicly for dominating the show.
Don't be daft. Don't be daft at all. The technology is not up to it. And also, it's very weird, and it took me a long time. I've worked with other people on radio shows, and it sometimes works and it sometimes doesn't. And
tossers.
You can't just
You've worked with tossers. You've worked with tossers.
No, I haven't. Not always. I've worked with some, but I've also worked with people who are brilliant. But eye contact is really important, and being able to read someone's body language. And we know each other well enough now that when we're in the studio, I know when I need to shut up and back off and let you have the funny, or when you need to be able to say your piece, and vice versa. And it's really difficult when you're, especially now, I'm talking into a phone, and I know that WhatsApp is brilliant and it sounds like it's good quality and everything, but I'm sitting here talking to someone on the mobile phone, and you sound miles away. So whatever.
Oh,
I'm not going to.
I hadn't thought that it would. Yeah, of course it's going to sound a little bit rubbish to you. But know that I love you, and that I miss you, and that when we meet again, I'm going to be humping your leg like a horny dog.
I know you will, and that's very sweet and appreciated. and I'll be shaking you off like I do with horny dogs.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much. Kath's going to shake me off. You heard it here, guys. That's happening. Let's go to another John. Good evening, John.
Hi, Ian. All right? I shouldn't have said all right. You're going to
John.
cut me off, aren't you?
No, I'm not going to cut you off. You're a nice guy. I like you. I like you. Go on.
Hi, Kath. You okay?
Yeah, I'm all right, John. Go on. What did you want to say?
Good. Well, strange. Dominic Raab. What do you think of Dominic Raab? Anything?
I don't really know enough about him.
Okay.
I don't really have any strong opinion on him. I think he's one of the better ones out of that lot. I think him and Rishi Sunak are doing the best they can, and I bet that those two men don't actually have as much power as people think they have. I bet there are people above them, but primarily Boris Johnson and Dominic Cumming, who are calling the shots. I just get the feeling that both of those men have their hands tied behind their back.
Yeah, sure. When I see Raab taking questions when he's doing this thing, this daily briefing, I always find, for the last couple of weeks, when I speak to my brother on the phone, I say, do you know, I reckon he can handle himself, that bloke. He's got this way about him. If someone asks him a question and he's got the ump with it, his eyes seem to change. So I googled him. Did you know he's a third Dan karate expert? Did you know that?
Yes, mate. I did not know that. That is awesome.
I couldn't believe it. For weeks I've been saying to my brother, there's something about him. You wouldn't like to get on the wrong side of that guy. And then I googled him, and
he's a karate master.
Karate master.
Flipping it, man. Let's get him in a room with the coronavirus, and let's let him battle it. Let's see who comes out. It will be him. It will be him. It will not be the coronavirus coming out. It's going to be Raab doing this.
The other thing I want to speak to you about, Ian, and I've been meaning to ask you for weeks.
I'm not going to go out on a date with you, mate. I do not date listeners. It just doesn't work.
No, I realise that. Drinking. I know you've had your issues with drink over the years. Now, I don't think I have got an issue, but I found myself, not since the lockdown, way before that, for probably the last 6 months, I need to drink every day. Not loads. I'm still sensible. But I need to drink on a daily basis. And if I've got no drink in the house, when I was working and get home from work 3-4 o'clock, I find myself by 6 o'clock I'm round that shop buying some drink. Do you think?
Can I say something?
Yeah,
John,
you go in for this one, Kath.
How comfortable are you with the sentence, I need to drink every day?
Probably not that comfortable, to be honest. That's why I need to ask someone, and I thought Ian and yourself would be the people to ask. I wouldn't say I was...
What happens if you don't drink? What would the consequence be?
Nothing. I would imagine I would just sit there watching TV, not drinking.
But
I would have thought.
You said you need to drink.
I do. The last certainly couple of months, I get very anxious if there's no drink.
Yeah. What if you were to substitute drink? Because you say that you're not too. You're not. It's not a drink problem. But what if you were to substitute, alcohol for some other kind of drink, like a cup of tea or fizzy water or something? Because I know you don't necessarily want sweet drinks.
Yeah.
Could that work? Sure. Just a little something else, because it might just be the habit.
I've not tried. I think it is. I never get drunk really.
Yeah.
I would drink a bottle of wine would take me 2 nights to drink. But if I haven't got that bottle of wine, I've become a bit fidgety. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Let me just talk about something slightly separate before I tell you exactly what's wrong with you. being an alcoholic or a drug addict, being an alcoholic, let's focus on that. It doesn't necessarily mean pissing yourself in bed. It doesn't necessarily mean you have vodka with your cornflakes. It's not about the amount. Right? It could be a beer a day, right? It's not about the amount. It's partly about it having a control over you, right? So it's not, people think alkies are you got to be sleeping on a park bench. No. It could be half a bottle of wine a day. Or it could be you just have a massive binge up at the weekend. If it's got a control over you, then that is an issue. Now, are you an alcoholic? I don't know. You might be. You might not be. You might just be going through a very stressful time, and that is a nice little thing that helps you get through that stressful time. And once the stress has passed, you'd stop. I honestly don't know. Only you know. I'll tell you a really good thing. And man, I hated this when someone showed this to me for drugs, because it was I could deny that I was a junkie, and then I saw this questionnaire and I was like, shoot. On the AA website somewhere, I don't know where, you Google Alcoholics Anonymous, there'll be like a set of questions, 10 questions or something, that you have to answer honestly, right?
Yeah.
And it'll be, do you lie about how much you drink? Do you drink secretly? Do you feel ashamed about it? All that kind of stuff. It's been a long time since I've looked. And I suggest you go and have a look at that and answer those questions honestly. Really honestly. You haven't got to tell anyone. Just do it honestly. Yeah. And once you see the ticks and the crosses, it might help you make up your mind as to how you want your relationship with alcohol to proceed. It might just give you a little bit of clarity. I don't know if you're an alcoholic. I don't know. But it's interesting that you're asking an alcoholic about it. That's a great start.
Yeah, I've been meaning to ask you for 2 or 3 weeks, and I've rang a couple of times and then gone off the subject, and I've been a little bit nervous, so I never brought it up.
Yeah.
But I think the very fact that I've been thinking of speaking to you about it for 2 or 3 weeks means there may be an issue, Or I don't, why would I?
But it doesn't necessarily mean that there is an issue. It just means that you're a very sensible person, and that you're concerned. Would it be really rude? I have the questions in front of me. There's 12 questions.
Okay.
Would it be improper for me to ask you the questions, or would you rather do it privately?
No, that's good. I'll be honest. Go for it.
You be honest? All right.
I'll be honest.
Question 1. Do you drink because you have problems to face up to stressful situations?
No.
Really? Did you not just say that you're drinking because you were anxious?
No, if I got no drink, I get anxious.
Okay, right. So you do not drink because you have problems to face. Okay, right.
Yeah.
Question 2. Just a no. Do you drink when you get mad at other people, your friends, partner, or parents?
Mad. I'd have to say no again. I don't really.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Don't be embarrassed about having to say no. This is great.
Yeah.
Do you often prefer to drink alone rather than with others?
Yes, certainly alone.
Okay. Okie. Are you? This is phrased slightly weirdly. Are you skiving off work?
No.
Okay. Do you ever try to stop or drink less and fail?
I'd have to say yes.
Okay. Have you begun to drink in the morning before work?
No.
Okay. Do you gulp your drinks as if to satisfy a great thirst?
Yes.
Do you? Okay, all right. Do you have a loss of memory due to your drinking?
No.
Okay, so that's okay. Do you avoid being honest with others about your drinking?
No.
Okay.
The reason why I said no in that way... Sorry, the reason why I said no in that way is because my 20-year-old son's living here at the moment, because we both need to self-isolate because of health issues. And I do find myself rather than putting bottles of wine by the bin to throw into the recycling, I tend to take them straight out now so he can't see them. So,
with respect, let's read that question again.
Go on.
Do you avoid being honest with others about your drinking? That says that to me. What you've just told me is dishonesty is such a strong word, but that does feel like you're being secretive, at least, which is in a way dishonest. So may I suggest that's a yes?
Yeah, that's why it was a strange no. It was a sort of yes. Right. It was
And by the way, your honesty is amazing, man. I'm not patronising you. This is because these are tough questions, and you're being incredibly honest. Do you ever get into trouble when you're drinking?
No.
Okay. And do you often get drunk when you drink, even when you do not mean to?
No.
All right. So you said 7 no's and 4 yeses, right? So then we look down here, and this is not a scientific thing, all right? This is just 12 questions on the AA website just to help you think a little bit. So you 7 no's, 5 yeses. And it says here, the answers are nobody's business but your own. If you can answer yes to any one of these questions, and you answered yes to 4, I think I said 5 earlier, it was 4. If you can answer yes to any one of these questions, maybe it's time you took a serious look at what your drinking might be doing to you. Now, that doesn't say you're an alcoholic, doesn't say you're out of control. It just says if you can answer yes to any one of these, and you answer yes to 4, maybe it's time you took a serious look at what your drinking might be doing to you.
Yeah, and I've sort of realised that by bringing the subject up, that I need to look at something, you know.
Of course you have. I'm just going to put in as well, this is the most stressful time in living memory, right? It's an insane time. So habits are going to be a little bit, off kilter and stuff. Would you say this started before the coronavirus kicked in?
Yeah, so I think I had a breakup with a girlfriend of mine, and since about, I would say, end of September, October of last year, I've become pretty reclusive. I've been going out working, coming home, being on my own. And that's when it started, really. And I'm not talking, 2.5 bottles of wine and falling up the stairs, or a bottle of gin. A bottle of gin will last me a week. But it's it's not what I'm, the amount, as you say, it's the need for it, even a small amount,
Do you know what, John? I think your honesty is amazing, and I think that there'll be a lot of people listening who will have answered yes to the same number of questions, maybe a few more. Yeah. And I'm really grateful that you allowed us to do that on the air. Don't panic, don't worry, but you might want to go and have a little look at the Alcoholics Anonymous website and just do a little bit more reading there.
Yeah, that's good. It's something I need to address, really. I would just like, I think a couple of days ahead, God, because I'm not allowed out, because I'm shielded. Yeah. So I'm thinking 2 or 3 days ahead of what I've got to drink, like Saturday night. We're Thursday night now, and I'm thinking, right, that'll last me tomorrow. That'll do for Saturday.
I remember that feeling about cocaine. It was for me, but now I've got that feeling again. But it's about food. It's about I've got a shop tomorrow, and the kids go home Saturday, but then they come back next Thursday. So will that so I'm doing exactly the same maths, but in a much healthier, healthier way. John, it's been so nice to talk to you. You can come and chat about this stuff anytime you want, or if you don't want, there's help out there.
Ian, I'm new to Twitter, just briefly, just to change the subject completely. I've got no idea how to use it. I've got no followers. I've only been on it a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
How do I tweet you? Or do I need?
I can tell you I can tell you what to do with Twitter. Get off It is a cesspit. But if you want to tweet me, if you put the @ symbol, Iain Lee, then I see that message. It's still public. Everyone else could see it if they look for it. But Iain Lee, and then I see it. I don't always respond though, so because I get loads and I try not to a lot. But I will read it.
I just very quickly, I do a bit of Neil Diamond tribute on the Quiet. And I've done a coronavirus parody to Sweet Caroline.
Oh dear God! There we go.
But it's worth listening to. It's quite funny.
All right.
I've done that.
I really.
Well,
then I'll listen to it. John, thank you, mate. Look after yourself. 0344 499 1000. And again, I really appreciate your honesty. You didn't have to do that on air. And that's what it's all about, Boyley. As you know, it's all about the honesty.
Yeah, I think that was really important, that phone call, not just for John, but for other people as well. It's, John has got a bit of an insight there that it takes other people a lot to get to.
Yeah.
And he knows that it's not quite right, and there's a starting point.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of this. When this all ends, and when, I'm not just talking about lockdown, partly lockdown, but partly all of this weirdness, there's going to be a lot of people who will have up there, maybe they have half a bottle of wine a night and they're cool with that. But during lockdown, maybe they up it to a bottle of wine a night, maybe a bottle and a half. And it's difficult for people when we go back to normality to then rein that back to what it was before.
Well, exactly, because it's so ingrained in our culture, and also it's this idea of kind of self-medicating, self-soothing. When does treating yourself, making yourself feel a little bit better, become harmful? It's that whole thing. This working on this show has made me look completely differently at the way. I mean, alcohol was always approached in my family, and if it's not alcohol, it's food or whatever it might be. Just got to. I think that you're so brilliant at being able to unpick that relationship, but it's been hard.
I don't know if I am, Catherine, because we've got a tweet, and I think it's about us.
Right.
I think it's about us. It's entitlement. Talk Radio's Jacobs and Hawkes. Now, I don't know why it's... okay, but let me read it. It's from someone called John. Right? Mm-hmm. Talk Radio's Jacobs and Hawkes. I've contributed to shows on this station for 25 years plus.
No, you
and
haven't.
never had a call not put on. Always good feedback and had good rapport with hosts and chatted regularly with them. Uh-huh. There was no need for the rudeness this man tonight. Shame on him. Oh, Sam, he phoned you up to say the same to him, did he?
Yeah.
Say the same to you? Okay, so it is that guy. It's that guy we cut off earlier on. Well, John, here's the thing. You got very confused because he said he was talking about the adverts, right? Turns out he wasn't talking about the adverts, Catherine. He was talking about the news, right? But
right.
That's a fairly big mistake. Someone pointed it out on Twitter. I think he meant the news story. Well, I don't get to hear the news stories because I'm pottering around during the news, and I can only go on what I'm told by the caller. And what the caller said was the adverts. So I had that to go on. But also, your previous calls bear absolutely no relevance to your current call. I've never heard of you. I don't know who you are. I found you rude. I very politely steered you away from, because you said you were talking about the adverts, very politely told you not to carry on talking about that, and yet you did, thinking you could sneak one under the radar, and then you made like a snide comment at the end. So, yeah, I cut you off. I've got no idea what Jacobs and Hawkes have got to
There's
do
Hawksby
with
and Jacobs, obviously
Jacobs,
someone who's very familiar with. Can I make a suggestion? Those other shows aren't listening to you properly if you behave like that, and they allow you to get away with it.
Oh, there's another tweet. What a tosser. ticked off for suggesting. Now, I can't read all of this. Let me go. Let me go and look at his thing. Hang on, because I want to. People, man. John, why don't you call back again, mate? I'm going to give you what I never do. I'm going to give you a second chance. What a tosser. Ticked off for suggesting delivery of booze at a time when domestic violence and calls to AA was perhaps not a great idea. That's not why I ticked you off, mate. It's not why I ticked you off. Arrogant F-wad. Some rude hosts are fun because they are nice. Some are just rude, self-important cretins and clearly not nice. I don't think you're that bright, John, if I'm completely honest. But I will do what I very rarely do, because I'm a nice guy. I'm the nicest guy that you have spoken to this month. I will let you call back and we will clear up any misunderstanding that there may be. But you're going to have to take a little bit of responsibility for it, because it was you that suggested that you were talking about the adverts, which we're not allowed to do. So, John, instead of tweeting into the ether to your 12 followers, 0344 499 1000 is the phone number. Very, very simple. This is Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Also, who gives feedback about calls? I mean, wowzers. 0344 499 1000. Let's go to Michael. Good evening, Michael.
Hi, Ian. Hi, Catherine. Hi.
Hi, Michael.
Hi. Yeah, just phoning because I'm having problems with the lockdown situation. I have a son, he's 4, but I don't live with a mum now. And I've not been able to see him for those 4 weeks because she's understandably not wanting to take him out, and she's not wanted me to come round. Although I said I live on my own, so I'm not at risk. But then I found out on Sunday she's been out visiting her family members, some of whom are nearly 70, and I haven't spoke to her since because I know when I speak to her it's just going to cause an argument, and I just don't know what to do. Every time she lets him FaceTime. She FaceTimes me most days, and he speaks to me, but he cries because he wants to see me. He doesn't understand.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do because I found out she has been out.
I would suggest you call her and you talk to her, and you don't let it become an argument. You have to go to like Zen. You just have to promise yourself for that kid. Yeah. And Catherine, I'd like to hear Catherine's opinion on this. This is just my opinion, right? This is not what I'm saying you should do. This is, when I say should, this is my opinion of how I would handle it. I would suggest that you call her up and you just write on a big bit of paper in front of you, do not shout, do not swear, and just have that in front of you, right? Maybe even have a picture of your kid there next to that. Do not shout, do not swear, picture of your kid. Because if you shout or swear or tell her to F off or whatever, that ain't going to help the kid, right? This is all about helping the kid. That's the most important person out of the three of you. And phone up and say, look, do you have... There's nothing like legally written down about you seeing the kid, is there? It wasn't like a divorce settlement or anything where you get to see the kid twice a week or something.
No.
What was the before we went into lockdown? What was kind of the general pattern of you seeing the kid?
Oh, she was letting me see him a couple of times a week, and
right. Okay. So there is a history of you being able to see that child a couple of times a week. This isn't something new, right? Then you have to. You don't have to do anything. I would suggest you phone up with the do not swear, do not lose your temper thing. Picture the child, and say, look, this is really unfair on me. It's also unfair on the child. I think it's unfair on you. I'm at home. I'm self-isolating. I'm only going out to get, for my exercise and to get my shopping and all of that. I'm washing my hands. I'm doing all of this stuff. I think it is unfair that I am unable to come over and see the child, and I would really like to, one afternoon next week, to come over for lunch And if you want, you can go upstairs and you can have a sleep for a couple of hours. We won't go anywhere. We'll just sit in the house or we'll sit in the back garden. You go upstairs, you have a sleep for a couple of hours. I'll come over for 2 hours and then I'll come home. Yeah. I would suggest that would be a really fair kind of compromise. And also I'm doing I'm helping you out a little bit. Yeah. I would be reluctant to mention going to see the other members of the family at this stage. Catherine, what do you think on that?
I think you're right. I think that's the right approach. Maybe rather than going in there with, I don't think this is fair, you go in there with, how do we do this so that he gets to see me and I get to see him? Because obviously this is going to take a while. And you immediately get her on board rather than, I don't know what the relationship is between you two, but obviously there are certain things that you've not been able to kind of talk about. And you don't want to get a backup, but also you don't want to be a pushover. But if you go in there with how do we do this so that this works for both of us? Yeah. That might be the thing that opens the door rather than makes her go, well, screw you, I'm not going to talk about what's fair and what's unfair. I don't know what your history is, but maybe that might be the thing. Being a woman, I'd probably be more likely to want to help you out with something if you said, how do we do this?
That's a significant but very subtle twist, and is absolutely spot on. I would suggest, Michael. How does that sound to you?
No, it sounds good. It's just I just know how she's going to react if I tell her I found out that she has been out and she's been telling me all along.
Don't tell her. Don't mention that. Don't mention that. Don't mention that, because then it becomes combative, and it becomes accusatory, and it becomes like you've been spying or you've heard. I've heard. Yeah. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. You know what? Maybe a couple of weeks down the line, if it still isn't happening, then maybe you could reconsider that. But for your first couple of contacts, it's irrelevant. It's just it's been 4 weeks since I've seen our kid. We've just been told that this is going to go on for another 3 weeks at least. Probably going to be another 6 weeks, I would have thought, at least. This is really isn't great for any of us. Yeah. What can we do? What compromise can we? The WhatsApp is great. I really appreciate the fact that you're doing that. That means so much to me. But what more can we do for the next few weeks? Yeah. Okay, be gentle. And the first phone call, she might go, no, nothing. I don't know. I'm just doing a kind of worst case scenario. No, I like it the way it is. We're not doing anything. And you can push ever so slightly, but then you sort of have to. I would suggest, keep saying have. You don't have to. I would suggest you accept it. Yeah. And who knows, maybe in a couple of days you might get a phone call going, well, I've been thinking about what you said. And that will only happen if you go in zen, no swearing, no shouting. And if you don't get a phone call in 2 days, maybe in 3 or 4 days, you phone back or you send an email. But if you're sending an email or something, I would get a good friend to check it. When I send emails to people, I get Catherine to check it just to make sure that I can write a really nice straight email. But there is, I will still put in a couple of little digs. And Kathy's really good at going, like she was then. How do we sort this out? Changing it to something else. They'll just take the odd word out, or say you don't need that sentence, or that sounds a little bit aggressive if you just phrase it like this. It's tough, man. Without giving away too many of my personal secrets, it's been tough for me and my ex-wife, right, when we split up. She came and stayed at my house last week for a couple of nights. Now, again, I'm not really revealing I don't really talk about my ex because it's not fair on her. But if you'd have told me that would have happened, if she'd have stayed at my house 6 months ago, I would not have believed you. Yeah. But through talking like this, we reached a point where that happened, and it was magic, actually. So these things can take a little bit of time. Yeah. Okay. And I'm really sorry that you're not able to hold your kids, because I got my boys upstairs and they're a pain in the bum, but we had a great cuddle on the sofa watching the telly, and it was it's a gift. And if you carry on treading a very patient path, you will get that gift back. Catherine, you're going to say something?
Yeah, I think the thing you need to bear in mind, because you're the one approaching her and she seems to hold all the cards at the moment, is that you both love that child. So you're both mum and dad. and you know it's crappy that you have to ask permission to go and see this child, but she loves that baby as much as you do. So go at it like you're a team. You know, you might not be able to get on with each other, but you're always going to be mum and dad. So how do we do this so that we inflict the minimal, you know, damage on this child at a time when he needs his mum and dad? Tell her that. He needs his mum and dad. You know this. So how do we make this work?
Hang in there, Michael. You're a good man, and it's unfair. The way you've presented it to us it definitely is unfair. But this knot can be untangled.
Yeah. No, well, I'll take your advice on both of you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, mate. Let us know how it goes. And I know that all emotions are heightened as well during this. So just breathe and just stay calm, my friend, and that will buy you so much. I don't know what I'm going to buy you anything. That will help you so much in the future. I promise.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Michael. Take care.
Take care, Michael.
Bye-bye. 0344 499 1000. That's on the left hand. On the right hand, John has tweeted again. Hang on, is that the same? That's not the same guy. That's a different guy. That's a different guy. I don't even know who that is. People are weird. Let's go to Steve. Good evening, Steve.
Hey, Ian. First time caller.
Hey, Steve, what you got?
First time listener. I just want to say...
How long have you been listening for?
Quite about 2.5 years, mate.
There's the bell for you, buddy.
Cheers, pal. It's made my day. I just want to talk about something else that's made my day today, and that was a session with Pete Heat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Without revealing anything, because... Go on, what did you enjoy it?
Amazing, honestly. In terms of brightening up a gloom time, I thoroughly recommend it to anyone that can go out there and book him. Fantastic. Shared it with my two buddies and a family.
Did you have friends? Did you have friends with you, or did you have like different people on different Zooms?
No, different people on different Zooms. It was amazing. But all the families together as well. Just seeing the joy on the kids' faces, all around the country was amazing. And you know what? I would never have picked up on that if it wasn't for listening to you.
Oh, wicked! Well, I'll let him know. How many people did you have watching, and how old were the kids?
Well, the kids were between 10 and 13. There was 4 kids in total across the 3 different families.
How many
kids? We
kids?
kept the numbers to a minimum. 4.
Yes.
So it just kept it down to a minimum, but it was absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. So I just
how the hell does he do it? How does he do it? And I don't want to describe any of the tricks because I don't want to ruin it for anyone. But every single one, we're all looking at each other going, well, how the hell? We're not even in the same room. How is he doing that?
I don't know. I was trying to be as difficult as possible, thinking, okay, I'm going to try and catch him out. But
yeah, of course.
I have no idea how he did it. No idea.
I've just remembered one bit because there's some really amazing tricks, and there's a really simple one, and I'm not going to reveal anything about it, but I just remembered that card trick he does. If we had been sat opposite him and he did the card trick, it would have blown my mind. But he was in Brighton and I'm in Aylesbury and he did it, and I'm thinking, this is what is going on.
And then he did it in slow motion and tried to show us how he did it. It was just unbelievable. Honestly, if
Steve,
anyone else to brighten these blunt times, it's money well spent. Honestly, it's a half
Steve,
hour
I am
well spent.
so thrilled, and I'll give out the website in a bit. I'm so thrilled that you did it, and even more relieved actually that you enjoyed it, because it would have looked bad on me if I'm recommending some crappy magician. Nice one, Steve. Thank you. If you want to book Pete Heat, we've had him on the show, and he is a friend. But when we had him, I paid for him. I paid good money. PeteHeat.co.uk. Thank you, Steve. Take care, mate. 0344 499 1000. PeteHeat.co.uk. He does like a 25-30 minute magic show on Zoom, and you can have as many of your friends and family as you want scattered around the country. I had my boys here with me. We had Kath in her house with her kids, and I had my sister and her husband and her kids, and it was just we had it about 6 or 6:30. It was 6 o'clock, wasn't it? Sort of in the evening.
Yeah.
So you kind of had your day, and then you're going to have tea. So we had it before we had our tea. It was flipping incredible, wasn't it, Kath?
I've got him next week. She won't be listening now, but my sister turns 40 next week, and she thinks she's got away with it. She ain't. We're having a little party online for her, and he's going to be the guest of honour.
Oh, brilliant! I get quite emotional because I love him so much, and he's done bits of TV and stuff, but he's one of those people I just think, well, why are you not famous? Because what you're doing this in a completely unique way. You're brilliant, and I've seen so many magicians because I used to book a night and I'd get magicians in. He's easily one of the best I've ever seen, if not the best. And so to hear you're doing that for your sister and hear calls like that, it just blows me away. Paul, stay there. We're going to come to you next. We have to go to the news. Look, suddenly it's midnight. Felt like a really slow start, but suddenly it's midnight. 0344 499 1000. This is the late night alternative with Iain and Kath on Talk Radio.
Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Drove downtown in the rain, 9:30 on a Tuesday night, just to check out the late night record shop. Call it impulsive, call it compulsive, call it insane. But when I'm surrounded, I just can't stop. It's a matter of instinct, it's a matter of conditioning, a matter of fact. You can call me Pavlov's dog. Ring a bell and I'll salivate. How'd you like that? Dr. Landy, tell me you're not just a pedagogue. 'Cause right now I'm lying in bed, just like Brian Wilson did. Well, I'm lying in bed just like Brian Wilson did. Just staring at the ceiling tiles, and I'm thinking about what I think about. Just listening and re-listening to Smiley Smile, and I'm wondering if this is some kind of creative drought, because I'm lying in bed just like Brian Wilson did. Well, I'm lying in bed just like Brian Wilson did. Whoa. And if you wanna find me, I'll be out in the sandbox, just wondering where the hell all the love is gone. I'm playing my guitar and building castles in the sun, whoa, 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 and saying fun, fun, fun. I'm lying in bed just like Brian Wilson did. Well, I'm lying in bed just like Brian Wilson did. Whoa. But I was 300 pounds. No, I was very high. I floated till I couldn't see the ground. I floated till I couldn't see the ground. Oh, somebody help me. I couldn't see the ground. Somebody help me. Couldn't see the ground. Somebody help me. Because I'm lying in bed just like Brian Wilson did. Well, I'm lying in bed just like Brian Wilson did. Ooh, yeah. Drove downtown in the rain, 9:30 on a Tuesday night, just to check out the late night record shop.
cover.
Why does life have to be so unfair?
They've cancelled Brexit. No, please don't leave me.
No, I totally disagree with secular robots.
I'm David Babcock and I got my willy stuck in the hook.
Aren't your balls going to be held back by your willy?
No, that's the wrong answer.
Oh, women's head. Shag a phony.
It wasn't even good enough.
They've cancelled Brexit. I'm David Babcock and I got my willy stuck in the hook.
Back by your willy.
It's just some song. This weekend is a whole bare naked ladies trip. 0344 499 1000. Late night alternative. It felt like a forced start, Catherine. Not necessarily bad. It just a little jump start. It was a little jump start at the beginning of the show. Suddenly we're nearly completed. And oh look, my cats are being dicks. 0344 499 1000 is the phone number. You feeling all right, Catherine? A nice mood, nice vibe.
I've been all right today, yeah. I'm just riding the wave, but I'm aware that that surge of anxiety may come again, but at the moment it's not here, so I'm enjoying that.
Yeah, I was all right today. I was lucky enough, I did speak to you briefly on the WhatsApp video phone call telephonic system, and I was able to encourage your 8-year-old to squirt you with a water pistol. So that was the highlight of my day.
Yeah, and then what happened after that?
Well, I made you wet.
No, my friend. I went and filled up the other water pistol, and my daughter ended up having to go and get towelled down because you tangle with me, you're tangling with the bus. No one tangles with me.
You've inspired me, and I've ordered 3 juicy water pistols. Juicy water pistols.
These are pump action
for next weekend. Yeah, pump action for next weekend, and who cares if it's not good weather? The rules don't apply anymore. But tomorrow we're going to have a Nerf gun battle because we've got 3 really good Nerf guns, and I bought 100 bullets, so we're going to have a Nerf gun battle. And next week, water pistols are coming out, and it's one of those. The boys love it when they go, "Can we get you wet?" You better try. If you can do it, son, you're in. And they love it when it feels very naughty squirting an adult and getting them absolutely soaking wet. It's a joy. Let's go to Paul, because Paul has been waiting for, look at that, over 5 years to speak to us. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening. How be doobie? No, I'm not supposed to ask that, am I? Good evening. Yes.
Well, you just asked howdy doody. I think you can ask howdy doody.
I asked how be doobie.
Oh,
howdy doobie.
We do be not
be. Doobies
we do be not.
Doobie no be doobie.
We do be not be asking that. Chilled, man. We're chilled, nice and chilled, man. Nice and chilled.
Okay.
Nice. What's going? Wagwan. What's going on?
Yeah, man. Well, why did I call? I called because what was it? Something that the caller before last said while he was discussing his situation with his ex-partner and their
yes, and the 4-year-old child, yes.
And what was it? He said yes. He went and predicted what she was going to do before he'd approached the situation, and it just rang a huge alarm bell in my head.
Go on.
I called about it before, the hand of God, but I didn't explain it very well. But one of the things on that list is to do not bring previous history to any kind of situation with another individual. You treat them as if they are a stranger and you've met them for the first time, and with the utmost respect, and you will minimize any potential for conflict if you do that. I've learned this the hard way. My good lady wife, I used to be quite guilty of this. You know, you dredge up the past. Even before you've had the encounter, you're there with your position. Oh, she's going to say this, she's going to do that. It's all a lie. Yeah. It's all a lie, and you make it 1,000,000 times worse. Well, in fact, I could count. Well, no, I can relay. I remember once we were in India, and we had an unpleasant interaction, and I stopped myself halfway through it because I realized that I had created it by bringing up the past when she wasn't even talking about that, and it had nothing to do with what was on the table anyway. It's a powerful, it's a simple, and it's quite difficult to identify in the moment, but it's very powerful for making life easier. I found.
I am a huge one for going, I can't do that because they'll say this. Oh, I can't do that because they're going to have a go at me, or they're going to hate me, or they're going to say no, or, well, they might do, but I take it as an absolute certainty that that's what is going to happen. And sometimes that does happen. But actually, quite often, it doesn't happen. And I'm pleasantly surprised by results. And I'm learning this, let's say, the last 18 months. That my predictions for the future are actually generally way off the mark. Sometimes they're right. Sometimes they're right. But they're quite often they're way off the mark. And I have found that asking for things in a polite, measured manner and not being greedy, and I'm being very non-specific here deliberately, but not being greedy and not being demanding or aggressive, but asking for things that are actually probably my right in a very polite way. Actually, it kind of comes off more often than I would ever have thought. And my God, I wish I knew this in my 20s. My God, I wish I knew this. And if it doesn't quite go the way I wanted, being able to offer a compromise, going, well, if that doesn't work, then how about we do that? I'm explaining a compromise. You know what compromises are. And it works more often than I ever could have thought. Go on, Paul.
I just want to perhaps add to that in a more global sense that the person I am today firmly believes that the way any individual approaches a situation increases the likelihood of the outcome which they enter in their headspace coming true, if you understand me. If you approach a situation with negativity, negativity will come to you. I believe that the individual is the creator of that negativity. And that if you approached it differently, the potential for a positive or an alternative outcome, positive or negative or whatever, is significantly higher.
Yeah, no, I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. It's but it takes ages to learn that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lesson in not having half the argument before you get in there.
Yeah.
We all know people that do that. And you think, why are we talking like this? you've not even asked me what I think about this yet, and yet you've already assumed it. And there's nothing like someone saying, you always do this when you've not done it yet, to put you back up.
Yep.
But that's why when we were talking earlier and I said, go in the spirit of how do we sort this out? Because she wants to sort this out. She doesn't want to live in a way that means that she's living in conflict and that she's, hiding things and there's tension and stuff. She wants the best for her child, and so do you. That whole thing of
if that doesn't work, you just go in at night time and you steal the baby, and that will teach her a lesson. That teaches her a lesson. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that would be necessary. As someone who has been co-parenting in lockdown, I would be more than happy for someone to come and take them off my hands for a couple of hours or a couple of days. My goodness, yes. I mean, in the interest of the child, of course, not mine. But
it was such a joy knowing that my boys were coming today and knowing that they are upstairs. I think they're asleep now. They certainly should be. But knowing they are upstairs and that one of them will probably get in bed with me at about 7 o'clock in the morning, and it's just a joy having those idiots here. I love those guys, man. And we're very blessed that Catherine, you live with your kids. I'm very blessed that I'm in a position where they're able to come and stay with me, and I'm able to be a responsible parent. And it's just a joy. I made a cottage pie for them today. I made a cottage pie.
Very good. Very tasty.
Thank you, Paul. I'm going to make you a cottage. No, I'm not. I'm going to make you a shepherd's pie. I prefer shepherd's pie, but I didn't have any lamb. I'm going to make you a shepherd's pie one day, Paul.
I'm a vegetarian, though.
I'll make you a vegetarian shepherd's pie one day.
Nice. Paul. Very good. I'm looking forward to it already.
Quick turnaround. Hey, always nice to talk to you, mate. Take care.
Nice one. Cheers.
Thanks, Paul.
See you later. Bye-bye. 03444991000. I turned that around quick, didn't I, Kath?
You really did. I meant to say to Paul that actually he recommended the 4 agreements, didn't he? He was the one that was talking about that. And yesterday and the day before, when I was feeling wobbly, I reached for that for the first time in ages. Oh. And although I didn't read it from cover to cover, the fact that it was there and the fact I could remember the basics of it made a difference.
Yeah, it's good, that book. It's good. I mean, Paul's a scumbag. We know that. He's a two-faced, lying, two-bit cheat and a crook.
Totally.
He's
But I'm not
absolute
responsible
piece
for
of
his
trash.
behaviour.
No. And one of the 4 agreements is do not be rude about people unless they deserve it. And that guy
unless they're called Paul.
deserves it. Unless they're called Paul. Poor bloke. 0344 49. The cats are sleeping on each other. I love it. 0344 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Oh dear, one of the cats has done a dump. I'm eating brown air, which is never great. But let's go to Danny. Good evening, Danny.
A succulent cottage pie.
I wondered what you said
all I wanted.
for a second. It didn't sound like succulent.
I
sometimes sound like a different letter. Oh gosh,
That's all I wanted. Night.
Night, Danny. Thank you. Oh dear,
Night.
isn't it funny how? Goodbye. That didn't sound like succulent, did it?
No, not at all.
Oh, Naomi says, I've just downloaded the Bare Naked Ladies Disc 1 album that has all the greatest hits on it. It's great.
You love it. You're in.
There is no... a few people have tweeted going, oh, yeah, a bit of Bare Naked Ladies. There's no duds. They're so good, man. They're so good. I love them. I love them so much. Alistair's on the line. Good evening, Alistair.
Hello. Hello, Iain. And,
You've not got it, have you?
No. I'm just going through it at the moment, I'm afraid.
What are you going through?
Well, just, everything. A friend of mine's, one of my best friends, dad is in hospital with pneumonia, not likely to make it, unfortunately.
I'm sorry.
He is actually refused a ventilator. So the family had made that decision, which is, heartbreaking, but I understand it. Feelings of uncertainty, really, and I don't know about you, Iain, but my highs are quite high at the moment, and my lows are quite low, and I don't know. Presumably, I don't know why it's happening. I know that I've been sort of thinking about all the bad things I've done much more of recently, and of course that doesn't help.
No, that does the opposite of help. That's quite dangerous.
Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to check in, just say hello, and any advice you might give. I mean, I did Zoom AA meeting tonight, which was quite positive. But I was sitting through it, and I just had that feeling in my stomach that something wasn't quite right. And so yeah, it's sorry to be a downer, but that's how I am at the moment, I'm afraid.
No, you don't have to apologise for being a downer. We are living through a global pandemic. Imagine, and people we know are ill and are dying, and I'm so blessed that none of my family and none of my immediate friends are ill so far. People I know have died. I mean, Eddie Large died, but so far, but we are all going through this weird roller coaster, odd, horrible journey, and our emotions are all over the place. There is no norm for this, and I'm getting the same things as well, of extreme joy. Yeah. But it's primarily extreme low. It's mainly extreme lows for me. But today, I must admit, I had feelings of joy. And it's partly because my kids were here. Don't pick up a drink. Don't pick up a drink. Don't pick up a drink. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Because if you pick up a drink, that's not going to help your mate's dad, is it? It's not going to help your mate.
No. I mean,
this is painful, what we're going through. We're going through pain, and we're going through fear. And that is normally when I would have a use up. when I'm afraid, and when I'm hurt is when I would take drugs or drink, because I don't like feeling those feelings. So we just have to ride through this. And you're going to go to bed in a bit, and you're going to put your pillow on the head, and you might not fall asleep, but you've got another day sober. And boy, oh boy, how nice will it be to get that round of applause on a Zoom meeting, or maybe even you'll be in a meeting at that point and get your 12-month chip, which is coming up soon.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. I kind of the last couple of weeks I've thought about a drink, but then what's been good is that I've quickly dismissed it because of the tools I've already learned from AA. So that's worked.
I do apologise. Kath's playing with her cat in the background. That's what you
I'm not. She's having a good scratch. Willow, will you pipe down?
What has she got? Like jingle bells for bollocks?
No, she's got a collar with a bell on it for the sake of the birds.
That's what that is.
And for the most part, she holds it when she's sneaking up on me. But tonight she's letting it ring free.
It is. I've thought about drugs. I thought about drugs at the weekend, Alistair. If I'm completely honest,
really?
Sunday night I just found myself running away with the thought, and I've shared this with my therapist, and I shared it in a meeting. Not massively. It wasn't going, oh my God, I gotta get some drugs. I just was thinking about them for a bit, and I realised that I'd been thinking about them for 5 or 10 minutes, and I caught myself and went, oh no, that's not where your head should be going, young man. But we are well enough now that it's all right to think about that stuff, because we are not our thoughts, right? It's as long as we recognise when we have those thoughts what they are, and we share about it. Once we stop sharing about it, that's when we start getting into a bit of trouble.
That's right. I mean, I think I'm going to try and find another one tomorrow night, because I think I need it. But I did have a good moment today, which I'm pleased
Here we go. This is what we want. Let's have it.
I signed up to BritBox.
Okay.
I'm getting a bit fed up of Netflix and Prime, and I think I might have to cancel the sub, of one of them. But I managed to find, Danny Baker's Cradle to Grave series.
Oh, is that on BritBox?
Yeah.
Oh, you like that?
I saw one episode. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. So have you seen that?
Show. Yeah, it's a great show, man. It's a great show. And if you've not read the books, I would get the books as well. You can probably get the first couple of books for pennies on Amazon nowadays. It is, it's a good show, man. It's really good, and it was not the huge hit that it should have been, but it's a lot of fun.
How long ago was it on? Do you know?
3 years, I want to say.
I'd say a couple of years at least, yeah.
No, maybe more than 3 years, because we had Chris Difford on from Squeeze, and that was after it had been on. Maybe it was 4 years. It was 4 years.
And also, you've got to remember that Peter Kay was still doing stuff, and he's not done stuff for ages.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. It's a little gem, that. I think you'll love it.
Okay. Well, look, thanks you two, as always. And
nice one,
I'll get through this, I'm sure.
Alistair, if you're ever going to pick up a drink, before you pick up the drink, tweet me.
All right, man.
And I know you're not going to be in that position. I know you're not going to be in that position because you're talking about. But if ever you really think, maybe today's the day, just send me a little tweet and I will slide into your DMs.
A normal tweet. Yeah, right. Okay.
Send me a normal tweet. Send me a normal tweet, and then I'll slide into your DMs. I'm your. When you go to places that the little fire alarm in the wall, you got to break the glass. I'm the glass you got to break. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Brilliant.
Take care, man.
Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.
See you later. Cheers, mate. Bye bye. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. That's part of the thing. Is we're not our thoughts. So if you think I was thinking about drugs the other day and I caught myself doing it, and went okay, and I spoke to my. I didn't speak to my sponsor actually. He's gone a little bit quiet. I spoke to my therapist and I spoke in a meeting, and that's the trick. It's when you don't speak about it. That's when things start turning a little bit dicey, man. A little bit dicey.
And you can always talk to me about it, don't you?
Who are you talking to, me or the listener?
Yeah, you.
Me, I know you. I know. I miss you, man. I miss you. This is the longest I've ever not seen you for, and and I miss jumping out, scaring you and stuff. It's not.
It was longer in the jungle, wasn't it? That was a long time. And that went well.
That would have been 5 weeks. 5 weeks. So okay, yeah, you're right. We're right. It was probably a bit longer in the jungle.
Yeah.
0344 499 1000. It's a night of 1,000 Johns. Let's go to the next John. Good evening, next John.
Evening, Ian.
Hey, John, what you got?
Second time caller.
You don't get any. You do not get any bell or sound effect. The bell is not a sound effect; it's an actual bell. You don't get no bell for being a second-time caller. You bell.
Aye, that show's brilliant, mate. I was just thinking. These are weird times we're living through, and
yeah,
it just reminded me. The last time I felt like this was it was about 1960. I was at school, and we were all marched out into the playground, into the yard, to pray for the Soviet ships to turn back, or else the missiles would be on their way.
Oh, blimey!
And
the old Cuban Missile Crisis. You were hang on. How old were you when you were made to go out in the playground and pray for the end to the Cuban Missile Crisis?
10.
Flip it! That's insane, John.
We're all standing out there praying. It was a Catholic school, and we're all doing the rosary. And
I was going to suggest it might be, yeah.
Turn back in 5 minutes. The missiles would be on their way, and it would take them 3 minutes. And I'm looking up into the sky for these missiles,
Hey, but John, it worked though, didn't it?
Yeah, well, according to the teachers, our prayers saved the world.
Flipping heck, that is a lot of responsibility to put on the shoulders of a bunch of 10-year-old kids. Oh my God, that's incredible.
Yeah. But no, I phoned you. That's not what I phoned you about. I was looking through old CDs and records and tapes and books, and I found this old poem in a Robbie Burns poetry book that I haven't seen since 1966.
Okay.
It's a parody of Robbie, but somebody had written it, and I haven't. Yes. And I just found it yesterday. I was noting myself.
Listen, as you saved the world from a nuclear... I don't like poetry on the radio, but as you saved the world from a nuclear disaster, as long as this is not too long, I will let you read it.
It takes about 2-3 minutes, Ian.
That's too long.
2-3 minutes?
That's too long.
I'll read half of it then.
That's still a minute and a half.
Well, I'll read it and
just give us your favours... All right, do it and we'll cut you off. Right. Sam, get ready.
Right. The tale of Daniel Morgan. This is the tale of Daniel Morgan, who had a tiny sexual organ. This caused our Daniel lots of...
Right, thank you, John. Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you. Goodbye. Well, I don't think there's much gist to get. That was the problem with that. Let's take a quick break. This is Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Now, I heard something on the news that has not been picked up, and I've just Googled it to make sure it's right. And yes, it is right. We got some good news in lockdown, baby. You ready, baby? To hear the good news? Burger King and KFC are gonna open up soon, baby.
I heard about KFC, but Burger King, that is the pièce de résistance.
Not McDonald's, you Yankee Doodle dandies. Some of the UK's high street food brands are offering delivery-only services. Oh, yeah. As they partially reopen some branches, Burger King, KFC and Pret-a-Manger closed their stores 3 weeks ago. But the fast food chains have reopened a limited number of stores across the country for delivery only. Please let it be near me.
I could eat some chicken.
Government guidelines dictate that while restaurants and bars must close, they may remain open as food delivery services. A Burger King spokesperson said the firm has opened a select number of restaurants. Okay, sure, whatever. Across England, as part of what it calls, excuse me, a phased opening. Oh, hang on. Just two stores in two stores in Bristol, one in Coventry, and one in Swindon will open.
Oh.
What? The
That's
company
a bit of a
said
commute
more
for me. I don't
stores
know
will
about
be.
you.
I would drive to Swindon. The company said more stores will be operational in the coming weeks.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Where's... Okay, right, hang on a minute. Pret Chief Executive Pano Christou has told his customers that I don't care about them delivering food to hospitals. NHS workers. All right, great. Well done. Congratulations. What about me? 10 Pret stores will open in London. Give me the KFC. Give me the KFC. Tell me about the Colonel. Here we go. Let's get ready. KFC said it has opened 11 stores across the UK, delivering a limited menu via Deliveroo. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Here we go. Heaton Chapel in Manchester, Deansgate in Manchester, Tamworth, New Oscott, Birmingham, Manchester Holme, Portsmouth, Aldershot, Cardinal Park, Ipswich, Pollock Shores Road, Glasgow, Great Western Park, Glasgow, Coliseum Retail Park, Enfield.
Manchester
I mean,
Holme.
Enfield's not that far. Manchester Hulme. Hulme. Hulme.
Hume.
Well, it's not Hume, mate, because there's an L in it, all right? So you're an idiot.
Mate,
You've embarrassed
it's
yourself.
Hume.
Mate, it's not. It's Hulme, so... A bit embarrassing there. I thought you came from Hulme North.
Yeah, I do.
You come from Hulme North, mate.
It's Hume.
Okay.
Do you remember where we got our stuff nicked? And they took it off into that estate?
Yes,
That was Hume.
Well, they don't deserve it. Listening to Iain Lee on Talk Radio tonight, I normally dip in and out of it every now and then, mainly because I'm not a real fan of Iain. But every now and again...
But except the fact that you dip back in suggests you are. You can't keep away. Anyway, carry on.
Every now and then it throws up gems. Tonight is one of these. Steve, welcome. You're getting the bell, Steve. You're not even
Also,
a
Steve,
long-time
you're
listener,
kidding
first-time
yourself.
caller. You're getting the bell. What do you mean? Tonight is a gem. Tonight is a gem. Don't pick on Steve.
No, but
Steve's my
Steve's
buddy.
going, I can take it or leave it. No, you can't. Keep coming back. You love it.
Steve follows me as well. Look at that.
Yeah, exactly.
Mainly because I'm not a real fan of Iain. But why do you listen? Why do you follow me?
That's like when I used to think I wasn't a real smoker, but I kept doing it every weekend. I loved it.
I would love a roll-up right now. I would love to just go into the garden after the show, have a cheeky roll-up, and then go up to bed. That's what I'd love.
I wouldn't.
I might buy
I don't
a
even
cigar.
fancy
I'm
one
gonna buy
anymore.
cigars.
I read that book and that changed my life.
Oh, a little cheeky little
Alan
roll.
Carr.
Oh, a big fat cigar. I'd love a cigar. I've never really had a big fat cigar. I've had little ones, like
I've had a
Hamlets and
fat
stuff.
cigar. It's horrible.
Oh, I'd love it. The burning on your throat, the rasping. Oh, yes, that's what I want. That is what I want. That is what I would like to have. That's what I want. I would like to smoke a cigar
No,
and
Ian.
make love.
As I said to you last time
all
you were
the
talking
women
about
in the
this,
world.
you're not a great dabbler.
You won't let me dye my hair, you square.
No, my friend. I said I would not let you permanently dye it because you didn't want to permanently dye it. I gave you guidance as to which one you wanted. That's not someone who's stopping you from doing it.
No, first of all, you couldn't stop me doing it. I'm a grown-up adult.
Exactly.
I wipe my own bum, and I've started
I
using
could stop
toilet
you from
paper
doing
as well.
it. I could. But anyway, carry on.
Well, you, how could you stop me from doing it?
Well, I could, but I won't. Anyway, but
Okay, all right. Well, you're a dick. You're a dick. How on earth do you think you could stop me from? I'm trying to find a. All right. How on earth do you think you could? Do you really think you could stop me from dyeing my hair?
yeah,
Hang on, I'm
but
gonna do
it
a
would
really-
be in a
I'm gonna do a
mean
really
way,
funny clip.
and I don't need to do that. I don't need to, and also I'm not that sort of person. I want to enable you to explore yourself to the full, and not like that because no one needs that. But what I'm saying is, what you were asking for was not what you were looking for on Amazon, and so I guided you towards the thing that you were actually looking for, and you're welcome. I'm not a prohibitive
Don't be so
friend.
silly, Kath. Don't be so silly, Kath.
Shag a pony.
Shag the pony. I wouldn't do that.
You're a fan.
Dirty purple pony.
Shag a pony.
Oh, yeah! Gonna live me like a boy laser. White people are done, everyone occasion. I've got a good idea. Don't just keep me near, I'll be so good for you. I'm gonna help you, rock it like you want me to. Let me know I can get through. I'll be so good for you, I could be so good for you. Let me know I can get through. From the world, let me know I can get through. I'll be so good for you.
This is Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Well, we're nearly at the end of the show tonight. Another 20 minutes. People want to call up. We'll take calls straight to air for the last 20 minutes or so of the show. So if you want to call up and I tell you what, shall we do straight to air for the whole show tomorrow, Catherine? Should we give that a go? Friday, the end of the whatever week this is in lockdown. We've just been told we've got another 3 weeks at least in lockdown. Maybe tomorrow will be a good night for everyone to kind of let their freak flag fly.
Maybe, but do Fridays matter anymore?
No. I just what's interesting is I find myself getting lower at the weekend simply because I don't. If my God, if I wasn't working, and as much as when it gets to like about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I kind of have to think, oh, I've got to do the show. Once I'm doing the show, it's kind of a tonic. I might in a couple of weeks, I might take a night off though, because this is actually quite. But it's a tonic. But if we weren't doing this, flipping heck, I don't know where my head would go. Let's go to line one. Line one, you're on the wireless.
Hello, Iain. And Kath.
Hello, you.
Yes.
Iain, last week I said that Santiago was hotter than Diaz. This week...
It's all about Linetti, mate.
Nah, Diaz is my new favourite.
Oh, God.
Well, I've watched some episodes. I watched an episode where she stripped off to a swimsuit to go and swim in the sea.
Ooh, who? Diaz?
Yes, mate.
Well,
Series 3, Episode 9.
Ah, because I was watching the later series, and now I'm starting from 1.
Start from 1. But it's Linetti. It's all about Chelsea Peretti. Linetti, for me. She is...
Gina.
My God, she's such a great performer. And she's hot at her job, is what I mean.
How about we use the word... I would like to work with both Santiago and Diaz. That would be a good team.
I would like to work solely with Gina.
Well... Yeah, you can work with her, and then I can work with Santiago and Diaz.
No one...
Guys, what do your wives
one
think about these conversations?
I'm divorced.
Sorry?
No one can object to what we're saying.
Yeah, we're just working.
Just saying it might be keeping you from real life. I'm just going to throw it in there.
Yeah,
no, Catherine, you cannot... We're self-isolating. We're saving lives, Catherine. We're saving lives by having...
Okay, carry on.
by having this conversation with this person who dials in on a withheld number and is obviously a pervert, we are saving lives and we're taking pressure.
I think you might also
Is
be
it?
cheating Babe Station out of a few quid.
It's Bill from Leighton.
It doesn't sound like Bill from Leighton. We are helping the key workers in the NHS by wanting to work with the the talented members of the Brooklyn Nine-Nine TV series. I'll be working with Gina.
I'll be working with Diaz and Santiago. Sometimes I'll be working with both of them.
Gosh, that'll be a tough case. That'll be a tough case, huh? Catherine, you can work with the sergeant, Terry Crews.
It's fine. I prefer to live in the real world, but you carry on.
Okay,
No,
fine.
Seriously though, it's a great show. Like all the characters are all really good. There's no weak character.
It's a quite good show. It's a quite good show. There are at least two laugh out loud moments each episode. But I'm about to finish season 3. It's nice to have on. It's not too taxing, and there's some funny bits. There's some mildly amusing bits, and there's some proper funny bits in it.
I think the earlier series are the ones, and then I think it gets a little bit cliche.
Yeah.
But there's, I think Catherine would like to work with both Hitchcock and Scully. And Boyle.
I mean, this is an in-joke for weirdos, so you crack on. I've not seen this programme, but you seem to get a lot out of it. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot.
Well, because we want to work with the police.
Catherine is body shaming them. That's what she's doing, and actually, I don't approve of that. I don't
know what you mean.
I think that's body shaming is when someone's body does not meet your level of
whose
what
body
you
are we
consider
talking
to
about?
be attractive. Hitchcock and Scully.
I don't know who these people are.
They're the two fat dudes.
Oh, they're fat.
And they're old. So she's
So
been
you're saying that I would
aged
have it
already.
off with old people?
No, seriously, Catherine, though, this is like me and Ian during a pandemic.
You sound like a lot of fun.
Work with the
I can't
police,
imagine why
you sound
you're
like-
having imaginary sex with people who would never
You want to
cross your path.
We're working with them. We want to work with the police. You want to go against the police. So I think you need to.
Then
really
I'm going to spoil this
give your
for
head a
you.
wobble.
They're not really police. But carry on.
Thanks for your call, Bill. That's the best line you've ever done. Oh, what? You're saying I want to have sex with old people?
I know, it was a sick burn, and I feel this singeing.
That's the funniest thing you've ever said. Let's go.
If you're going to burn
I
me,
wanna
talk
have
about a
sex.
reference I understand. Then I can feel it.
No, it's funnier. It's funnier if you don't understand it, because then we're laughing at you, not with you. You get it?
Yeah, but you're the ones tugging yourself off over some imaginary police women, not me.
Let's go to line 2. You're on the wireless.
Base knowledge, crunchy base, nutty base, buttery biscuit.
Thank you very much indeed. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call.
To be fair, Bill sounded hot.
Okay, so you're saying I want to have sex with old people?
I'm sad he wants me to have sex with an old man.
Ah. I'm putting so much Tiger Balm on, and it's not actually doing it now. I've become doing anything. I've become immune to it. The only thing
Is it not just Vaseline at that point?
Yeah, pretty much. But it stains my pillowcases brown.
Yeah.
It's like I've done a dirty protest at my head end.
Where are you putting it?
On my forehead.
On your temples?
Now, I'm going to tell you something. I want you to know if this is illegal, what I've done, right?
Mhm.
I went to bed last
Whoa,
night before.
stop. Do you want to say this on air, or should we hold this over?
Yeah, I do. No, I'll say it on air. I went to bed last night or the night before, and I forgot I didn't have any pants on. So I took my trousers off, and I didn't have any pants on. And I wasn't going to put on a clean pair of pants to go to bed, because that's a waste of pants. So I had a T-shirt on, but I slept without my pants on, right, downstairs, which is not what I normally do, right? Now,
You don't have to justify yourself. You're in an empty house. You're a grown man. You don't have to wear pants.
Well, we've not got to the bit yet. Now, the kittens have started going under the duvet and into where my legs are. Now, George, as you know, is very, very fluffy. And George went under, this is absolutely true, George went under the duvet and nestled sort of in between my legs.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt nice.
Okay.
And I just wondered where that left me.
Let's just say Bill would be fine with that.
Okay, so you're cool with it.
I'm not Bill.
But you're cool with it, yeah?
Bill would be fine with that. What I'm saying is,
okay, so
do you want to be a friend of Bill's?
Well, yeah, I do. He sounds like a fun guy. we're gonna tag team the girls from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Let's go to line one. Line one, you're on the wireless.
What's that one called who's also a stand-up comedian in that programme?
I mean, this might take a while.
Surname.
Chelsea
the one that you
Peretti.
fancied before. Oh,
Yes, Chelsea
yeah.
Peretti, yes. All right, go.
You
Now
think
you're
we
just
just
being
came over to
seedy.
Britain?
You go away, Sam. You're too. Cut him off. Now you're being vulgar about the woman I love, about someone I want to work with.
It's the door you've opened, the dirty door.
David has tweeted, "Forget me shagging Hoovers. Ian Lee shags his kittens." You've got 30 seconds to delete that. Otherwise, I'm reporting you to the internet, to Twitter. To Twitter. What's wrong with people, huh?
What's going on? Lockdown really is taking its toll, isn't it?
Paul has just tweeted you, quotes, "You're the one who wants to tug himself off to some imaginary police women," ends quotes, is a line we don't hear enough on commercial radio.
Now, why can't I see that tweet? Is Paul a wrong 'un?
I think we're all wrong in this. Oh, man.
No, my friends, I'm the one giving you a much-needed reality check.
Oh, man. I've got highlight of my day tomorrow is I'm going to a click and collect, taking my youngest because he's a weirdo. My eldest will be doing like a little online computer course, and the youngest doesn't really like staying in the house. He did it the other day, actually, for the first time. But also, I think it's quite an interesting thing for people to see, because we'll forget what the click and collect is a strange old experience under these. I've never done it before, but the fact you have to stay in your car while they, what's your name, Ian? Okay, and then they bring it all out and they leave it, at the back of the car, and then they go in. And as they go in, they go, okay, you can do it now, and you get out and you pick up these bags, but because you don't want to touch it in case it's got coronavirus. If you found yourself doing this with like post and stuff, you kind of just hold it between your thumb and your finger to take it to the kitchen, and then open it with your thumb and finger of the other hand, and drop the envelope in the bin and get the letter and go, okay, and you're doing everything at a distance in case you get the coronavirus.
I know, and I can completely see how, if you are already kind of germ phobic, this is going to make you worse.
Yeah.
And actually, if you weren't, this is going to make you go that way. I've got some alcohol rub spray, that isopropyl spray.
Yeah.
And I've been using that. And we had something dropped off earlier on today, and it was kind of dropped off at the door, and I went, thanks very much, picked it up, thumb and forefinger, and went and took it in the garage to deal with it. I mean...
I'm laughing, but it's sensible. I've got disinfectant wipes. Every package that comes in, it's wiped down. Then I open it and I wipe down the thing that's inside. Remember a few weeks ago, just a few weeks ago, Daryl Morris came in to the studio and wiped
with
it
his
down.
Dettol wipes, and we kind of laughed about it. I mean, you didn't as much.
We looked at each other.
I wasn't
didn't
laughing
laugh.
in his face, but I did think, okay, this might be a little bit much.
Behind his back, you were very rude. But we both looked at each other, raised an eyebrow, and then 2 days later, and I couldn't stop thinking about it, and it was either the next day or 2 days later, I got some disinfectant wipes because I thought, he's onto something, actually. Of course he's right. And you looked at me, and then we went to Cardiff to do our show, and I said, I'm not going to hug anybody. And you were hugging everybody, and you thought I was being a little bit over the top. And how quickly...
I wasn't hugging everyone. I didn't hug the weirdos. But yeah, you're right.
No. They're all weirdos. But how quickly we've now accepted this as not... I think it shows how adaptive we are as humans, that we are now... We're just doing it as a matter of course. It's taken a few weeks. We're doing it as a matter of course.
Yeah. I also think that, you and I are... you've always been kind of prepared for the worst to happen of everything. This kind of sort of disaster, imagination thing that you've got going on. And the fact that I've caught up with you now suggests that stuff got real.
Well, now the worst has happened. And again, I don't like the stats. Twice as many men than women have died of this in this country. It's like you get stats like that, and there's an ex-junkie, and you just think, oh Jesus. Anyway, let's not end on a down note.
Yeah, but the suggestion is that might be because men don't wash their hands.
Well, okay, let's not end on a downer. Instead, let's go to line 1 to end on optimism and fun. Good evening, line 1.
Oh dear, the pressure! My God. Hello, Ian. Hello, Kath.
Hello.
Optimism and fun, here it come.
Big fan of your show, Ian. Big fan. I wanted to ask you something, because you're absolutely great. You give so much of yourself in every single show, both you and Kath do. And I think it's an absolutely great radio show. I do. And you have got such a community feel around your show. No, there's no but. I just think the show's great.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to know, you spoke several times about your contract being up in June. Are you staying? Have you heard any more? Because I know you kept saying you didn't know what was going on. I never heard you actually speak any more.
You know what? As far as I know, it's gonna. I don't know. As far as I know, it's kind of been hinted that it's going to be renewed, but until you've got a thing in front of you that you've got to sign, I don't know. So at the moment, at the end of June is the end of it, but I have been assured that I'm probably in quite a safe position. So fingers crossed.
That's good. I hope so, Ian, because you and Kath, you're just absolutely great. And I just wanted to ring up to say it's a tough time for everyone, and you do a great service, I think, to Talk Radio, and they should be proud to have both you and Kath. And just wanted to ring up and say that. And
that's very kind. We have to go because we're at the end of the show. Thank you. And listen, I couldn't. But thank you for that. I couldn't possibly comment. All I will say is, Catherine and I are the only people on this station to have won an award whilst being on this station. And we did it twice. That's the end of the show. Thank you, Kath. Thank you, Sam. Thank you to nearly all of the callers. Darren Morris is up next. This is Talk Radio.
Talk Radio.